Malcolm, joined tonight by Fell for an absolutely insane series. We're going to be bringing you guys the best of 5 of Jolly Roger Armada versus Sin Solo Pickle. How you doing tonight, Fell?
I'm doing amazing. We're bringing the Friday vibes over to a Monday, so it should be good. We are the team for the Friday night Olympus. So yeah, I'm excited. This is a semifinals. It's a 4-team playoff to begin with. So and it's a 1 versus 4 seed. So I think Jolly Rogers Academy, they have a lot to prove here. They can really shine here if they can take out the number 1 seed. It's going to be hard, but one thing just like reading and looking at like a lot of the stuff here is that I've noticed that there's not like a definitive, like there was no 9-0 team, right? Like it went 9 weeks. There's 7-2, and then the 4 seed is 6-3. So the difference between the parity between these teams and inside this league seems to me to be like really interesting. So I'm excited to see what they got. I see some familiar names up there that we see in other leagues too. So I'm totally excited, man.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm glad to see some of those names that I could recognize from other parts. Like I definitely see Solo Mason, phenomenal, and Concerned Badger there. We just ended up, I think actually Concerned Badger, we just ended up casting on Friday, so we're definitely we already know what he's very capable of over in the mid lane, and I think that's gonna prove to be like that one of the potential like stepping stones here. Not stepping stones, but one of the hard points to get over is the consistency that Concerned Badger does bring over into that mid lane. And phenomenal, I definitely have casted before, and I've always been fairly impressed by how well phenomenal can do. So I really want to see where these what these two teams can bring out to one another, especially since this is going to be the first time I'm actually getting to cast these two teams. So for the Friday night vibes to the Monday night slot, just to give you guys real quick, we are getting through the picks and bans right now. Sin Solo Pickle on blue side and Jolly Roger Armada on the red side. Nico, Jarvan, and Ari banned out here for Sin Solo Pickle, and then we are seeing the Fairy, Corky, and Viveris for Jolly Roger Armada.
Yeah, we've seen an uptick in the Varus, especially with the new, or I guess it's not new, but the return to the Poke Varus, the Comet with the Manamune and then everything else, and we've seen a lot of this one too. So this has been a very, very contentious pick as of late, and Sin Solo Pickle blue wanting the Ashe. This has just become like a very strong, confident, like stable laner that even if you fall behind, right, as we see that the answer from Jolly Rogers is the MF, like even if you fall behind, you can still be useful. You can still, as soon as you get up or as soon as you hit 6 base, send an arrow down the mid lane, catch the mid laner, and just be so useful, catching people, getting picks out of vision, things like that. So very strong. It's going to be answered by another strong lane, which is the MF Seraphine, and I'm laughing a little bit because I see what the answer from Sin Solo is, and that is Mr. Blitzcrank. You know me, I love Spice. I, for one, am not a huge fan of the champ, but that's because I can't play it very well, and when you don't hook, you don't get anything out of it. But yeah, so super strong bot lane here from the side of Jolly Rogers. If they can avoid the hook and stop and keep good vision on the Pantheon, I think that I favor it a little bit more, but we've also seen a couple games where Blitzcrank just absolutely takes over. So I am stuck in here to watch Phenomenal on this champion.
I'm loving both of these compositions right now, just because, again, when you can easily translate what a comp wants to do, it's just like, oh, like you were just saying, the Ashe has the utility of the Ashe arrow just being able to be, even if you fall behind, you're consistently useful with those hawk shots, with that arrow, potentially catching out a squishy member or being able to lock someone down long enough to allow for your team to be able to get the jump on them. And that's what they want, because you're going to be able to layer a lot of the CC on top of one another between the Pantheon having the point and click stun and the Blitzcrank hook knock up silence. There's so much that they can do over on the side of Sin Solo Pickle, but then Jolly Roger Armada with the MF being the answer as a pretty strong AD carry, especially she could be kind of a lane bully early on, and the Seraphine still having that same type of combination, not as consistent because it's only on the Make It Rain or the MFE that she can combo off with, but at least that slow does enable for the potential double E from the Seraphine to complete the combination. So it's kind of like a pseudo Ashe Seraphine, but it's also a really good way to be able to steal it from Sin Solo Pickle, not give them that combination. And just to finish off the bans here, we do see Sin Solo Pickle going for the Orianna and the Galio, and then Jolly Roger Armada banning out the Akali and the Olaf. And for picks, they're going to end up finishing off with the Syndra and Mbessa for the side of Sin Solo Pickle, and we're getting the Victor set on the side of Jolly Roger Armada, I really do like how both of these compositions
Okay,
ended
we
up.
get the Ambessa in the top too. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was going to be the Pantheon or the Ambessa in the top lane. Yeah, I actually really like both these comps too, and the reason being is that there's like the instantaneous lockdown on the side of Solo Pickle. You have the Ash Arrow to set up the Blitzcrank hook to set up, the Pantheon. There's also the disengage aspect of both of these things, and then you have the public execution and the Grand Starfall that come in from pretty much off screen and then from like way out of nowhere from Sin Solo Pickle. So, and then of course the Syndra, once she hits the 140 orbs, she can execute, and that just gets bigger and bigger, and late game scaling for that. On the other side, Jolly Rogers has such a strong, if they can avoid the hooks and keep vision, like I was saying earlier on the Pantheon, Jolly Rogers bot lane absolutely insane, with the Wukong being able to go in or the set and then being able to use your encore on top of that to get to guarantee the extension. We've seen 4 or 5 man ults from like all the way across going through, so excited for that potential on top of the the bullet time on with that, the Victor keeping them in the sphere, and then with his ult on top of that, and the Wukong. So like both of these teams have distinct play styles that they want to work with. I think Jolly Rogers more of the team fight, and Sin Solo Pickle more of the we want to get a pick and then we go, and maybe more control, especially early on. But I'm excited to see like how this one comes out. I love both of them for both reasons, and we'll bring another quick tradition from the Friday night broadcast, Malco. After looking at these, before you get into your extended analysis while we're waiting on game, who you got for game one, just based off draft?
Just based off, well, first and foremost, I want to say that based upon just how these teams are placed, it still feels very close to one another. Again, as you were pointing out, 7-2 on one side, 6-3. That's a crazy, like, that's how close you are. But yet that's the difference between first and fourth place. So I feel like these teams both might actually have some decent enough skill to be able to follow up with one another. I really want to go with Jolly Roger Armada's composition overall. I just feel like once we get into those big team fight situations, the amount of control from the from the bullet time, from the encore, from the cyclone on the Wukong, once and you can allow for even more area control from Victor Gravity Field. It just feels like they're gonna be able to kind of dictate where Sin Solo Pickle kind of dictate their positioning and be able to put them into get themselves the overall advantage. Though I do want to say that there is some potential really good engage from the side of Sin Solo Pickle that should be able to pick out a member as long as they're able to eat up a lot of that damage. So right now, I'm still going for Jolly Roger Armada here, but I definitely can see an avenue where Sin Solo Pickle ends up winning.
Yeah, and this is also something that we've seen even in the even though this is Diamond and everything, is that like people with the potential to get caught out by a stray Ash Arrow out of nowhere, like Just the Dog is gonna have to realize that even though they have cleanse, like an Ash Arrow can come down at any time that you are by yourself, like expect it, and there's no easy way to deal with that come late game, because once you get into level 16, especially even level 11, like the cooldown on it is so low. You're talking 40 to 60 seconds, depending on itemization and stuff. So I really do like that, as we do see in the bot lane, Blitzcrank and Ash trying to cheat up a little bit as the vision comes through. I like this from them. I don't understand, and I've seen this a lot from the games. Okay, never mind. Jolly Rogers is doing it, where they're not getting the vision on the Raptors from the red side onto the blue Raptors. But as I'm saying it, Mr. Cake is getting that as we speak. So yeah, both and then on the other side too, I believe that the five man straight up fight potentially does go to Jolly Rogers, and if they can get it to a point where they are skirmishing over these, Seraphine to me has a much higher chance of being a more useful support than Blitzcrank, especially if the Blitzcrank is behind and is not hitting its hooks.
My biggest curiosity for a matchup right now is actually the Set versus the Ambessa, as we are seeing, though, he is getting some damage down the Pickle and small chaos, it looks like. they're gonna, or Small Chow, there we go, is actually fighting it off on this top side. I was actually very curious about how this matchup ends up going, because I don't think I've ever really seen a set go up against Mbessa before. I've seen plenty of people do other things like Jax, crazy enough Jace, and a few other like Sion, those types of matchups. But I've seen Set up in the top side again is very interesting, because I haven't actually seen him played a whole lot as of late in Summoner's Rift, I have to say.
Yeah, no, at least in these leagues, right? I think my solo queue, usually the set on my team is just kind of running it down, and then the set on their team is building some sort of huge HP, and they just zero shot everybody that they see. But yeah, no, like it is going to be interesting. Somebody that's extremely mobile against somebody that kind of not punishes mobility, but definitely has a lot of answers for it, as we're seeing here now. Like once you hit level 3 on set, it's so easy for you to just trade and win because of the shield that you get with your W, and the amount of actual extra true damage that you can do as well. As Venus Faller is actually going to DC, and they don't want the red buff to kill him, so they've paused the game.
Okay, that's unfortunate when that happens.
We do have a plug as well during this break. This break is sponsored by the Titan Esports Scouting Grounds. Check the Discord, look at the Scouting Grounds. They're coming up soon, so make sure you sign up and get into it. And it should be a good time. Good way for you to get noticed, maybe picked up by some of these teams. Like if you are promoting out of your current league and getting into new ones. Yeah, check out the Discord. I'll have a little bit more here in a second as I pull it up myself.
So I believe it's April 13th, if I remember correctly, is when it should be starting up. And as you said, if you're looking to get promoted out into your leagues or trying to get noticed by some of these teams, is definitely the best way is by doing these scouting grounds. More than likely, that's, and even then, you might even get some potentially good information from scouts, coaches, and be like, hey, this might have been something you can improve on to be able to look for next season. So it never hurts, even if you're thinking about it, just go ahead and jump right on in and just see what happens.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's always like one of those things, like you said, the okay, reminders, players sign up for the Scouting Grounds next Tuesday at 8 p.m. I do believe that is the 13th. No, it's the 14th. So April 14th, Tuesday. That's when signups, or that's when you need to be signed up for it, and the games will be on that time. And yeah, and it's something like you said, like there's scouts from a lot of different leagues that will be able to at least get you, either on their team for Titan, or maybe they bring you over to another one, and it's a good way to get picked up. And then once you make the rounds and you become like one of those vibe guys or something like that, like it's always a good time. So yeah, if you're not just completely satisfied with the one league that you're in, like we said tonight, Concerned Badger, phenomenal. They're in multiple leagues as well, even multiple Titan leagues. So it's always good, and it's a good time, and hopefully, we get a good turnout for it, because I think it's going to be awesome.
I do like the fact that there are people who have not only the ability but the time to be like, oh, I'm gonna jump in and be in multiple leagues like that. That's crazy to me. That's actually kind of crazy to me. And look at that. Yeah, we're right back into the game, guys.
Short plug and back to the stream. We should get the small independent company buffer. Yep, here it is. Okay, as it comes through. Shout out also to the production. Shivam doing a wonderful job as always. Dual hatting as observer and broadcaster tonight to bring you this eternal playoff matchup. So good job. Is that the greatest League of Legends caster? You spelled Malco wrong, Mr. Timberlane, but yes, it is.
No, he's definitely talking about you. He's got it just right. Actually, I was gonna say, is that just a production thing throughout like every league? Like, it's just we all kind of just rig on Riot's spectator issues? Because it feels like it's just always been the same.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wait, we got the first game coming in as Pantheon jumps right in. Seraphine not going to be able to get away. Tyler trying to walk away. Phenomenal stake right on top of him. And the first blood going over to the Sin Solo Pickle support.
Yeah, I think the Fiendish kind of jumped the gun there. Maybe he was a little nervous, but yeah, you're going to get a counter gank, or it's not a counter gank, but you are going to get a cross map gank here up on the top side.
He just
a small child going to go in.
Pickle, Small Chow, looking in the chase, not gonna be able to land the hay. That's not the haymaker. I keep forgetting what his actual pull-in is called, but he's trying to go ahead. I think Fish was just barely spotted when he just ever so much stepped up. I couldn't, obviously we didn't see the vision, the way the vision looked, but yeah, that's unfortunate for that to fail. So gonna be an overall advantage going over to Sin Solo Pickle.
Yeah, it is, but at the same time now, Mbessa can barely walk up to the lane here now, as we see he does have a little bit of a shove coming his way on the minimap, but Set does end up getting out of it. I think he wants to probably buy here. It's a 27 to 17 CS differential, and like we were saying earlier about what's interesting is normally you don't ever want to see the support getting the kill on ganks like that, but I think in this instance we take a bit of a exception to that rule. Yeah, like Blitzcrank, at least for like the first couple of kills, is always going to be really good.
Ooh, that's a whole lot of fighting. Not gonna land it. It's so close though. But
by the way, is the name of the
face breaker.
Yeah, he yells it.
Thank you. See, that's,
in case you ever forget, you could have just listened to the cast for a little bit longer, because he just yells it at her as he pulls her in.
I was gonna say, like, he literally calls it out like he's a superhero, you know? Oh, flash, facebreaker gonna go in, 2 punches, dashes 4, flashes out of it. Pickle gonna live on just barely any HP. But Small Chow definitely taking the lane into his own command, and I think that's what's going to be necessary for this, as we do see right now tempo in the bot lane. We have this Ashe actually ahead right now, Solo Mason about 15 farm up, so, and keeping the MF and Seraphine off the wave entirely with the threat of this Blitzcrank hook. Pulling in either one of those squishies could mean utter death, especially with not being able to get away, and Tyler being summonerless for at least another minute and a half.
Yeah, that's kind of the Blitzcrank effect too, right? Like, you don't even have to be good at landing your hooks. You just have to have the threat that the hook is coming at any given time. You can go 1 for 20 on your hooks, but if it's the hook that pulls somebody in that, like, really turns the fight around or they weren't expecting, like, that is a good Blitzcrank. You know, it's like the defensive line for football. You know, you make 2 sacks, that means you didn't make it the other 48 times, but here you are. So, yeah, he is just winning. Well, Mbessa, once she gets the Eclipse, I think will do a lot better in these trades. But yeah, this is you know, definitely one of those things where not only did you get the early gank, but now you also have a you know, a Blitzcrank with the move speed, with the boots, so a little bit more move speed. So there's so much agency that's given to this bot lane now, just through that initial gank, and now with this on top of it. So.
Oh, and there's gonna go into the facebreaker. Haymaker not gonna be able to land it, but Pickle gonna end up winning out on Small Chow. He stayed a little too long. Fish here trying to get the revenge for his top laner. Not gonna be able to do so as he just decides to get away. Nice solo kill for the top side over to the side of the Sin Solo Pickle top laner.
Yeah, and this is something for everybody watching that plays Ambessa. If you get into a set, just let him ult you and public execute behind him, because that, I didn't even think about that, obviously, because I'm terrible, but like, that was such a heads up smart play, and it makes so much sense when you think about it. Like, yeah, just get behind him, because there's no way he's going to be able to return any damage if he's facing away from you. So I really do like that from the Pickle 69, and if that that could actually be the play that kind of turns this entire lane around, because, you know, Set had a little bit of a CS advantage. He had a lead. He had an item advantage, and now that's Jackson Ambessa, and we're getting another pause here due to the Blitzcrank now. Phenomenal. Yeah, Phenomenal on the Blitzcrank has now been DC'd for a little bit over a minute, so I guess they're going to try to get a reconnection here, and hopefully this doesn't become something. Hopefully after game 1 everything is good and kosher, and you know, this isn't the reason that one team ends up, you know, taking a win or anything like that.
And I was gonna say, because especially when we were just talking about, like, sometimes, oh, there we go, he's reconnected, so we're gonna wait for this buffer. But in the moment, when you were talking about, like, oh, maybe you don't want the support to get that kill, like that first kill there, well, here we go, guys, get a completely interesting view. But just to say, like, the one thing that you do gain, though, even though the Blitzcrank got the kill, is just tempo in the lane. And sometimes it's just something that I've recently started thinking about, and I'm like, you know, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, when you have that upper hand or the tempo in the lane, and you're able to kind of control and dictate what the lane like state is, it's a much
at
more,
any
it's like one
given
of those
moment.
hidden, yeah, like it's like one of those hidden like leads that people don't really see in the game unless they're kind of just like looking at it with the whole bird's eye view, like we can see consistently. And so that's kind of what, now that even though the CS differential is definitely not as big in the bot lane as it was before, because Phenomenal wasn't here for a little bit, so they've kind of been able to dictate back some of that tempo. When he's there, it's like, oh man, we can't really like push up. The MF can't get these free like bounce trades or anything without the risk of that hook. And then now we're also seeing, as the tempo starts to gain back for the Mbessa at first having that CS differential being not in their favor, gonna land the gravity field, get a bit of the laser down. Concerned Badger though activating the ghost, and would have been able to dodge out on anything else if the Victor was to continue the engage. But the Mbessa now is able to keep up, if not be ahead. Intrinsic Crystal Arrow gonna come in. Phenomenal, getting the great pull on the Seraphine Ignited. Gonna have to use the flash and W to be able to get out of there once again. Also the heal. So once again, Summonerless. But we do have Fiendus. He is here and he knows this is ready to go. The Encore is ready. Gonna be used. Flashed away. Pulls in the MF while taking down Tyler. Gonna jump in. Uses the cleanse. Can't get away though. Double kill. Going over to Solo Mason. Sends Solo Pickle with 1.5k gold up. And all Fish can do is just watch and try to take these grubs and get a little bit of advantage elsewhere.
Yeah, once again, another cross-map play, which I do like from Fish here. You know, I mean, it's the right play, but yeah, now we're starting to see that, like, where that advantage comes in. Like, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so easy to land on somebody that has no flash and has nothing else. Was able to flash away from the Encore and continue the damage. And then heads-up play from Phenomenal. I absolutely love that. Hey, this Seraphine is dead. Ash has it. So while Solo Mason is killing the Seraphine, I'll just yoink you, Mr. Just a Dog, just trying to protect your Seraphine, and that's it, as they're going to collapse now on top of Fish here.
Jump on the Fish, the hook gonna land, get the knock of 4 members surrounding him, and he's not long for this world. The Pickle 6ix9ine going ahead, going fishing, and he's gotten his kill.
Yeah, and this is where, as Blitzcrank, you're like, please bring Symbiotic Souls back. I really need them, because this is one of those lanes too. Like, the MF Seraphine is pretty good, but it takes a lot for them to be able to catch an Ashe that can farm from so far away and can, you know, enchant a Crystal Arrow to keep themselves safe or like whatever. So it is really hard.
Oh, another one gonna land. She uses the bullet time trying to get some damage, but that's now Tyler not gonna be long for the world and gonna get slain. Solo Mason on a killing spree.
Yeah, poor Tyler is not having the best of days, at least in this game one. And this is using this lane like to the max. This is one of the better performances that I have seen out of a Blitz lockdown ADC type thing. And Ashe, it works obviously so well with it. But yeah, this is a very, very strong you know, performance by this Ashe and Blitzcrank combo. And this is what this lane is meant to do. This is when they say, oh, you see two ranged squishy champions, pick Blitz. Oh, but it never works out. This is how it works. And take notes, because this is a very interesting start to this game now, as like, you've got Solo Mason now as a 301 Ashe. And you don't really have anybody that's going to be able to just zero her from the get-go outside of, yeah, nobody, unless you get the perfect Encore or, you know, Wukong ult on top of the bullet time. So this is going to be interesting to see how Jolly Rogers really responds to this during this game one. If they can keep their heads about them and then just try to get to a point where they make, you know, where Pickle makes the mistakes, then okay, but not the start that you want. Oh,
gonna get the face breaker into the set ult. Gonna be able to bring them under their tower, but the flash dash gonna be able to get the Pickle out of there. It's still looking like you said, the Eclipse definitely made the survivability a lot better for this Mbessa. And being 2-0 right now up in this lane, even on farm is definitely not looking good for the set. But the Fish though, getting pulled in immediately. Silence not gonna be able to use the invisibility. Solo Mason on a rampage. The Triple Crit Arrow gonna be able to find the MF as a target. Gonna land the stun, but the TP coming down from the set. They know they gotta get out of there. Nicely done to take the kill and back off, and that's a summoner down for the top laner on the side of Jolly Roger Armada.
Yeah, and you already have the set that's kind of like, having a little bit of an issue here is concerned, and Cake still battling it out here. Two very, long-range champions doing their thing. But yeah, this is huge. Now you already get one. You're probably going to get 2 plates and 2 waves of XP and gold for the Zambessa, while Small Child has the TP to stop them from getting 3 kills. But it's kind of like one of those catch-22s, go like if I don't show up, we get the 3 kills. If I do show up, I basically now completely lose my lane. So the tempo from Sin Solo Pickle early on in this game very strong. I can see now why they are the #1 seed, at least so far in this matchup. They are doing very well at controlling the tempo in this game.
Yeah, this is not what I was honestly expecting from the at least from the way the composition was set up for the side of Jolly Roger Armada. I thought they would have at least a bit more advantage into this, but it's just the way that the bot lane is playing, the top lane is playing, how much Fiendish is all over the map, and how well he's converting some of these kills or multiple kills into other objectives, or to, like you said, tempo and presence on the map. It's just, since Solo Pickle is a well-oiled machine in this game right now, and they are like you said, they're clearly showing, at least up to this point, why they are the #1 team.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive to watch this and like just have like these cool calculated, like we know what we're gonna do here. And then yeah, even up on this top lane now, as the Eclipse is finished and it's just a Tiamat. Yeah, this doesn't feel good for Small Chow, but we're now seeing too, like even when Pickle is getting taking turret aggro and then getting like going to the side.
Gonna be able to get it, but they're gonna jump on top of the Victor. Fiendish Feller gonna be able to get his first kill of the game, taking out Cake in the mid lane. Nicely done to use the Grand Starfall to get behind that Victor, so he was going nowhere.
Yeah, just once again another well-coordinated play where they know what they want to do, they go for it, and now they're going to be catching out Fish and stealing his jungle away too potentially. This is this is not terrible. Good. But they do, yeah. They're trying to get a little bit. It'll be interesting when the actual team fighting starts and we get a good 5v5 if we ever get that. But yeah, we just haven't seen it yet. I don't even think that Fish has used his ultimate yet, and that is so like oof. But yeah, when you can Facebreaker into Showstopper while the Pickle has turret aggro and then still not kill her, like it just feels so bad right now.
I honestly kind of feel bad for the fact that it feels like I know Fish is looking for something, and I don't think he knows that he's on top of a reward right now. But the public execution gonna come in from under the turret immediately into the suplex, but the Pickle now going on a killing spree. Set not able to make it work, and there goes the first use of the Cyclone in the game. Not gonna be able to get it, but it only lands onto the clone for the Chicken Crystal arrow. So nicely done to be able to get away from that. But Solo Mason feeling himself right now, nearly takes out the Seraphine. Oh man, this is looking like not so. This is really not looking good for the side of Jolly Roger Armada right now. 15 minutes into the game.
No, it's not. But at least at that point, you did have to burn the Ghost. You had to burn the heal from the Blitzcrank and the flash from the Blitzcrank to get out of everything. So now, you know how it goes. Now you need to make that happen again. So what I want to see is Fish, clear away his red, get down towards bot, or at least wherever Ashe Blitzcrank is, and just punish them for not having anything. Yes, the Ashe does have flash still, but if you can get on top of her before she's able to use it, then good. And you also still have Cake to go around. I know there hasn't been much talk about Concern Badger and Cake so far, because there's been like not really too much outside of that mid gank earlier. But you also have a scaling Victor, who is a very, very strong team fight presence, and can get not technically resets, but their ult grows bigger and bigger the more that they kill. So if they can get around one of these objectives late game and actually get a good team fight combo off, this can go from 9-0 to 9-5 really quickly, and they can turn this entire game on their heads. They just have to make it happen. And but for that to happen, they do need to at least get to a point where they'll be able to actually kill somebody.
It's what really sucks though is the fact that hold on, the Pickle decided to go on a fight with middle Small Child Facebreaker right into the set Showmaker. Gonna try to get a little bit more, wants to be able to get the bit of damage. Are they using press the attack on? Yes. Wow, okay, so that's a lot of damage coming out from him, and we end up missing the kill because he goes in public execution, used up in the top side, gonna be able to secure that kill. And now the Ambessa on a rampage, we're gonna bring it right back. And I thought Small Child must have realized that he might have been safe, but the public execution actually gonna end up missing, but it doesn't matter. The Eclipse Shield gonna be able to give Ambessa exactly what is that the Eclipse Shield, or was that her shield? Honestly, too many shields, but there's just too many shields, and that's gonna be another kill going up to Pickle up in the top lane.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those
Miserable.
things too, where this like little micro game between these two champions, right? Like when Pickle gets the public execution, if timed right, Small Chow or Set can use the showstopper and lock them down. And what we saw the first time that we saw the interaction, Set uses the showstopper, gets her inside of the brush, goes to use the haymaker, but then gets publicly executed. She's automatically behind him no matter what. The timing is there. Under the turret, the last time we saw the showstopper into the face breaker, and then or the face breaker into the showstopper, but then she just sort of gets out. And then this last time we see once again, the public execution getting behind, but then really quick positioning by the Pickle to actually make the Set showstop the these names of these abilities
It
showstop, and it
confuses
actually
me
went away
every
from the
time.
turret too. So right now the mental game between the Pickle and Small Chow 1000% is going to the Pickle. Like the Pickle has completely just won this at least initial bout. And I think for Jolly Rogers now, the biggest thing they need to do is just get this to some sort of team fight. Maybe even send the Victor to deal with the Ambessa and just kind of hug a turret or something. Obviously, Small Chow is not able to do that at this point with just the stride breaker. It's not going well. Doesn't have the shield upon shield to deal anything. It did not go Conqueror, so there's no passive healing they're going to get from it. They both kind of went for like a quick, in and out kind of deal where they both want to get the press the attack off and stuff. So this is interesting between these two top laners, how this has gone so far. And I don't really know what the answer for Jolly Rogers is right now, but what they're doing right now is not working. And I think maybe sending like a more tanky individual, or even sending the MF Seraphine up there to hug a turret and just kind of soak that way. Or I don't know. Like this, the Pickle on Ambessa has been absolutely just really impressive so far in this game.
And right now, looking like they're going to start converging on the Dragon. Hawkshot going to be able to seek out the team. Even though Jolly Roger Armada is here first, there's still the massive advantage between them. Encore going to land on the two members into the showstopper, getting the Phenomenal into the backside. That's going to be the first kill for the side of Jolly Roger Armada. This is exactly the picks that they were looking for. Phoenix Fella going to be dropped low, and Chance's Crystal Arrow going to land on just a dog, but Fish going to be able to get barely finished off by Concerned Badger, as Small Chow going to be able to take out Fiendish Feller. That's 2 for 2, or 2 for 1 for the side of Jolly Roger Armada, able to get something off of this little small dragon fight. But now the Pickle is here, and he's looking to use some of that advantage against the rest of these laners. But there goes Cake fighting off Solo Mason off in the bottom side of the fight, as we do see Pickle looking for Small Chow. He's able to take him out, but we're looking at Cake, and he's going to take out Solo Mason. But don't forget about Concerned Badger being able to drop off other members too. Phenomenal is now back into the fight. Silences Cake, and one more auto, and that's all that's needed. Double kill to Concerned Badger, and the extended fight goes the way of Sin Solo Pickle.
Yeah, and this is kind of one of those, like, they did get the initial, the initial benefit of the fight, and the 5-man that we were talking about finally showing up. The only problem is that the showstopper pulls out the Blitzcrank out of the bullet time, so it was really only one member taking it, and a good job from Sin Solo Pickle to just sort of skirmish that one out, back it up, and then try to get to a point. And they baited Jolly Rogers bot lane and mid lane into their jungle where they didn't have the wards. And next thing you know, MF is sitting there trying to chase out a Syndra. It did not go, or it went the way that you would think it would, and then Victor on top of that is another enchanted
crystal arrow gonna end up on the Seraphine. That's so unfortunate. That's not what you want to do when you're an enchanter support, and that's gonna be another kill going over to Solo Mason.
Yeah, and at this point now you have the Echoes of Helia on this Seraphine. Nothing else really to speak of, and this is not a good feeling. We were talking about how it feels as Blitzcrank from being behind, but when you're going into a Blitzcrank and you are so far behind, like, absolutely not. This is not what you signed up for. If you're Tyler, you signed up for a ranged matchup, and you want this to go. Is now Small Chow kind of caught
Pickle
out here.
doing so much damage to Small Chow, and Small Chow not even able to get the face breaker off. Gonna end up missing it. Pulls him in, or face breaker into the haymaker, and not gonna be able to get that off at all. And even under your turret, you are not safe. The Pickle 69 gonna take another solo kill onto Set, and that's just not what you want to see, a 7-0 in Bessa.
No, it's not, especially when you're the one that's given them 5 of those. Like that just feels so bad. To be fair, I think one of them went to Concerned Badger during that last team fight. But yeah, this is not great. And we see the Enchanted Crystal Hour already is on such a low cooldown, being level 2, that they are ready to take
They just let it rip.
this next fight again, because they're about, yeah. Like as soon as it's on cooldown, you might as well at this point. It's almost as useful as a Blitzcrank Q at this point, because it just seems like it's always up.
And it doesn't help the fact that, I'm not gonna lie, something I want to just say, phenomenal. You were a phenomenal roamer in the beginning of this game. And that was something that was really hard, I felt, for Jolly Roger Armada to really work around, was the fact that you kind of had a second jungler, which is a Blitzcrank, where if you get pulled, you might as well just say, the dog face meme, where you just kind of accepted your fate. And it was actually, and that was something I was watching a lot of. I was like, oh, why is Blitzcrank all the way up top already? Why is Blitzcrank in the mid brush? And you keep looking on the map, and Blitz was just jumping around all over the place. So that definitely, that's dangerous too. Like, all of a sudden, you don't have to worry about, oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow gonna find just a dog, jump on top of him, Pantheon gonna be able to land it, be able to get the flash, and the W gonna be just enough to be able to land onto just the dog, and that's gonna be another kill for Solo Mason. And they drop the Rift Herald into the mid lane, and that's gonna be the tier 1 mid tower drop.
There's something very interesting, and I don't really know exactly why it's happening. So I am legit asking this. Fiendish Feller, this is like the 3rd time now that I've seen him come in and they get somebody locked up, and then he uses the E to reset, like it's on red, like he's ready to use his empowered abilities, but for some reason just like uses the E. And I don't know if that's like a regular Pantheon thing, or I don't play the champion enough to know. Maybe he's just getting excited. But Concerned Badger is going to be the next target for Jolly Rogers, but able to get away with a nice little scout of the week there to keep them at bay. So good job with the vision, able to create some tempo and some push. And now both of these side lanes are now getting shoved in, and any answer that they have in the mid lane is basically answered with an Enchanted Crystal Arrow here, as it is about to be up again. And we're going to see if Solo Mason wants to pull the trigger once more onto just the dog on this MF, who does have cleanse back up, but you can't cleanse the hook and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
This is just one of those really unfortunate events that you end up seeing during a game. 10k gold down at 23 minutes is a very surmountable lead to try to come back from, and it's really indicative on how well you're able to, or how well and how safe you could play into these lanes until you're able to scale up or get a pick or something. And right now we're looking at it as they end up missing the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but you can't dodge that hook. And no Solo Mason once again on a killing spree as they take down just the dog. They used up everything, and it was not enough to be able to save their life. Another kill for the board for Sin Solo Pickle.
That's where you just start spam pinging the heal off of your Seraphine as she's about to get cut off by Concerned Badger and flashing away.
Oh, but we do have Pickle going ahead and fighting Fish down off in the bot lane. Scatter the Weak, gonna be able to stun him and the clone, and the ult is gonna be enough.
That's
the unleashed power gonna be able to take out the Wukong. Fish is gone, and it was 10 seconds to the Drake as well. That's a definite soul going over to Sin Solo Pickle.
There's nothing that they can do. I was gonna say some sort of hero play, but there's nobody on the side of Jolly Rogers that can kill more than one member. But Small Chow is gonna try it.
Getting caught out, and that's gonna be the haymaker. Not gonna be able to take them out. Does get the big damage as they able to take the side check. Drake gets the soul, the nice hook, able to pull in just the dog from max range, and that's gonna be another kill given over to Solo Mason right after.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna get a couple pop shots. He's running away. I'm running away, and I'll be safe now. Like perfect timing from Phenomenal for that Blitzcrank hook, and just that's just kind of the way this game has gone. And like they've reset after getting Soul, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow is back up. So expect as soon as somebody comes out of vision onto the Rift that we're going to see an Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming across, probably to hit the Seraphine, as we see the pings coming out now from Sin Solo Pickle. So they are picking up what I'm putting down here, and they do want to start an engage as soon as they can.
Honestly, they get one really good pick onto Fish, onto just the dog, and that's gonna be actually Tyler pulled in instead, and you're not long for the world. You're gonna be taken down, sent to the gray screen. Cyclone comes out to go ahead and deter any more engagement, and now that that ult is down and the Seraphine is gone, the Baron is looking like the next target for Sin Solo Pickle.
Yeah, and I don't even think there's anyone on the side of Solo Pickle that would be like the super juicy settle, right? Like if there was like a Mundo or, you know, somebody, or a Cho'Gath, it's always nice to be able to kind of get that. As,
oh, just the dog caught out in the mid lane. It's so unfortunate. The Pickle with the blades gonna chop her down, and that's gonna be MF going right back. And Phenomenal, unfortunately, has left the game again.
Who did this time?
Phenomenal has been just DCing throughout the game the whole time.
Now this game is going really well for them. Like I think that's the understatement of the night that I'll make. But if these connection issues were coming out in a game where, you know, this is kind of tied, this is something that, you know, they definitely want to you know, get under control as soon as they can, because you definitely don't want to be messing around with this when it's, you know, instead of 23-3, it's 13-13, and, you know, we're pushing for, you know, Dragon Soul potential, and it's even. So Phenomenal, as well as they've played, like they definitely need to make sure that they get that taken care of here, and soon, because right now this is definitely their game to have, but at the same time they don't want this to carry on into game 2.
And I think for their team right now too, they definitely want to try to they really want to try to get this game not necessarily over as quickly as possible, but they want to try to. It's really hard for them to be able to end the game as the Encore comes out, gonna go wide, not gonna be able to land, as he's gonna be able to get the W onto Fish. Bullet time gonna be dropped down, able to deter any more engagement. Pickle is now here, and the Baron Empowered Cannon minion gonna be able to take out this mid tier 2. The members of Jolly Roger Armada trying to back, and that's not gonna be able to back just enough, and that's just thinking that they got the kill. Puppet Execution comes in from behind, is gonna be able to take him out. Double kill going over to Pickle as he's gonna go try to get the kill the Wukong, but it's just a clone that they're fighting, and that's a double kill for the top laner for Sin Solo Pickle, and he's looking for more as this mid tier 3 is gonna drop. That's gonna be the inhibitor turret, the inhibitor as well. Concerned Badger guiding these minions off into the top side, and all that Jolly Roger Armada can do is watch their base fall, as these members are just too powerful for them to be able to fight on an even 5v5 basis. Pantheon jumps in, the cake is trying to flash away. There's gonna be the Showmaker gonna be able to, or the Showstopper gonna be able to drop him into the tower range, but it's not gonna be enough as Pantheon's gonna be able to take out Victor. The members start to spawn once again, but it's Airfit getting pulled in once again. Concerned Badger now is unstoppable as they're able to take that kill. 3 members for the side of Jolly Roger Armada is gonna be able to try and defend this, but their first Nexus turret is gonna drop. Another great pull to get in just the dog. That is absolutely insane. Phenomenal, and this Blitzcrank has been able to make some absolutely insane plays that led to crazy picks, which is helping to lead to the end of this game. The Pickle, Solo, Mason, all the members on the side of Sin Solo Pickle give an absolute clinic of a game 1, and they take that victory in dominant fashion.
Holy crap! Like Phenomenal is an understatement there too. Oh man, that like, it was just hook after hook after hook. It was from the get-go, the calls, and like from the first gank where he just goes in and gets the double summoners and puts them behind in a position where they really don't want to be, into a Blitzcrank lane, into Enchanted Crystal Arrow, into a hook, into another successful gank. And then as the game went on, it just seemed like he got even more accurate with those Blitzcrank hooks. So that was like you said, that's a clinic on how to play that champion, especially from a lead. They took the first kill and then basically never looked back. As soon as they get that kill, and then the Pickle turning around what was a bad situation up top into where they, into that first kill onto the set where it looked like they were dead, and then they just timed the public execution, get behind him. Like from that point on, Sin Solo Pickle did not look back. That was their game. I would say from like 8-9 minutes in and on was just completely all them. There was no question about it. I had no at no point did I ever think that there was a chance that Jolly Rogers came back in that game. The only thing that you can do is make sure that now that you take this momentum and you build off of it, but you don't feel like you still have it, because we do see that a lot. Like after a stomp like this in game one, we saw it last Friday, stomp in game two, stomp in game three, and it just kind of like kept going back and forth. So I'd like to see Sin Solo Pickle keep this like calm, cool, collected. Like we know what we want to do and execute it, execute the play style that they had, and not play like they're from ahead. And on Jolly Roger's side, maybe pick a winning lane. I guess, like, I think that's probably the only thing. There's not much you can do as a Wukong jungler when both of your two lanes are like dead, and Syndra's super hard to gank anyways, and Fiendish was able to kind of just be everywhere. So good macro game play from Sin Solo Pickle there, and that's not the way you want to start this.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely impressed by Sin Solo Pickle. Honestly, the fact that like we've casted some of these guys over in Olympus as well, and so I shouldn't have been surprised. But I've always like a concerned Badger kind of being like the hey, nothing's really going on in my lane right now, and then all of a sudden they're blowing up everybody on the map. Solo Mason, very, very, very good AD carry. I should have suspected the same. And then Phenomenal being another person that we casted. Those just like, threading the needle on so many of those hooks. Absolutely insane. And now getting to see how Pickle fights up there and Fiendish is kind of all over the map and stuff. This team, as I said in the game, a well-oiled machine. They showed what their ceiling can really be. So I'm really curious to see if Jolly Roger Armada is able to step up a little bit more to the same plate and really bring and try to bring some of that extra competitiveness to this game and allow themselves to, like you said, maybe pick a winning lane, put a little bit more confidence into it, and really try to fight back in those early games. So then you're not kind of getting caught in those situations. But again, the SSP, you guys were just on it. You guys were just on a roll, and you guys kept it going no matter what you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and bring it into a break for game two. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Titans Eternal. And welcome back, everybody, to Titans Eternal. If you are just joining us after that insane game one, you would have just witnessed Sin Solo Pickle put on an absolute clinic and defeat Jolly Roger Armada in a very dominant fashion. Even though the compositions might have told you otherwise, there was definitely a lot going on in that game one that led to the victory of Sin Solo Pickle just basically working so well together. Fel, if you want to give a little bit of detail about that, real quick, just to
Yeah.
kind of give your thoughts, you
I
know?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I do think that like that is a like we want to run through X, right? And in this case, it was just a bot lane with the Ash Blitzcrank and then having the Pantheon with the point and click stun. Like we want to run through this, and then that's exactly what they did. Minute 3, like as soon as the first clear was over, they force a gank, get everything out, and then they just come back. And then once the Ash is ahead, and the Blitzcrank is ahead, like there's not really much that they could do. And then it was just like on repeat, Enchanted Crystal Hour or phenomenal hook after hook after hook. And also on the top lane, the Pickle just basically turning a bad lane into their own best lane. It was also awesome to watch. So we did get the side swaps here. Jolly Rogers Armada is going to be on the blue side now, and Sin Solo Pickle over to the red for the. So I don't know if they're going to give that to Concerned Badger or the Pickle. I mean, both of the solo laners last game, I think played really well for the side of Solo Pickle. Jolly Rogers, I think Cake was good, but was never put into a position where they could carry. So I don't really know if like Cake is, or if mid lane is really like either way. An advantage to either side just yet, but we are going to get these bans as I go on a little bit too long. Porky and Nocturne out of Jolly Rogers, and then we're going to get the Nico, Ari, and I'll call Kate for Sin Solo Pickle.
Looks like it ends up being the Jarvan. I do want to say, like, Jolly Roger Armada had a really good idea for a composition because, but it was also indicative on the fact that they had to be there early for setups, and they were really trying to basically kind of get themselves into a very advantageous team fight positioning, layering on top a lot of different CCs to then allow for MF to drop these big giant top of everybody and be able to help win out by dishing out a lot of that damage there, right? So now Jolly Roger Armada, by picking the Sivir here as their first pick, they're definitely going for something a little bit different. Yeah, so they want to try to get that. They want to try to get that tempo. But we do see here, though, in response to that, we have the Hui, which has been one of those mid laners that honestly I was very surprised that a lot of people actually tend to pick, particularly at least I've seen it on Olympus a lot. And I was just like, oh, this is actually a very interesting pick that actually does pretty well. And then we have one of the best tempo control supports in the game with Nami being picked up for phenomenal here on the side of Sin Solo Pickle, and Jolly Roger Armada wanting to finalize their last two picks for the first phase by doing Orianna for Cake. And I'm gonna say Small Chow is going to be up on this Cho'Gath.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could go to Tyler. It could go to, excuse me. It could go to Tyler. Yeah, it could go to Small Chow, and it could go to Fish. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, the feast on Cho'Gath is such a strong ability, especially for objective controlling, and with the Orianna to also help with the spacing out and keeping distance and controlling space between everything. I could see it kind of going in multiple places. Also, with the shove that Sivir's going to have into this Kog'Maw or Hui. I mean, we saw Kog'Maw in the mid lane on Friday, so maybe that could be a thing with the Dusk and Dawn. But we did see it as a double like ADC kind of composition that ended up working out, but not there. So I do think it's going to be the Nami Kog'Maw, which I love, especially once you see a Cho'Gath or any like health-based juggernaut. Like, yeah, just send a Kog'Maw and just let him go. And they'll also be picking up the Amumu as well for the jungle. So this is just, I love this comp from Sin Solo Pickle so far. They have the engage, they have the disengage, and they have the tie down and damage from the Hui, and then of course the Kog'Maw on top. So really liking it early on.
I'm very curious what they're going to end up picking for this top laner for Sin Solo Pickle, because it will be another one of these. Like, I think I've seen this before. this protect the president composition that ends up leading to an like the crazy artillery fire from the side of from the Kog'Maw. So I'm actually very curious to see what they're gonna do to finalize their composition. But what I do like is the fact that the Olaf did get through on the ban phase this time around, and now you have that one potential. I can just mow right through all of your CC and be able to try to get to this Kog'Maw. And once I'm on top of him, I'm not letting him go. So I really am curious to see. Honestly, if I'm favoring it, I would like to see it go towards. I think Olaf top has actually been pretty interested. So I'm curious to see if that's going over to Small Chow. But we do see that the Garen being a classic pick up in that top side, that's what they're going to be giving Pickle for this game. We'll end up seeing it. But if it is an Olaf top, I see someone calling out Olaf top into Garen is sus, and that's going to be very interesting for me. I haven't seen this matchup before. I don't see Olaf top very often. At least not in my not in my Summoner Rift games. I don't see them that very often. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how this like matchup is gonna go. If anyone wants to tell me, like, go ahead, educate me real quick.
There's two matchups that Olaf doesn't want to see. One of them being Garen, the other one probably Yorick, just because you can't really counter that. Maybe I mean, Trundle he kind of poops on, so like until late game. So the Garen definitely would have a lot of agency early on, especially if you get a Mumu to kind of come up there, as it is going to be the top into the Garen. Now this is also something where with the amount of shielding and sustain that Olaf has, it kind of matches the Garen pretty well. And on the flip side, if Fish can get up there and maybe get a lead for this Olaf, like he can just become somebody that absolutely takes over this game. And it'll be interesting to see if they can really do this. And as Shiny Top is kind of pointing out in there, another thing too is that a lot of Olaf's power comes from being low health and all the benefits that he gets from when he gets low. So anybody with an execute, not really somebody that you want to see, as we are going to get the Pengu Garen up in the top lane. So he's going to be fighting a little penguin over there. But yeah, he's a strong answer, at least in the late game. You know, when the team fights and stuff start for the side of Jolly Rogers. And I don't think that they're just going to have like the easy, hey, we super win this bot lane, we super win this mid or top for the side of Sin Solo Pickle. So I do think that it's going to get to this mid to late game where their team fight prowess can actually shine, as now the Garen is kind of caught out here as a couple undertows. He is going to just end up having to flash over the wall, but that is a huge disadvantage for the Garen starting off here.
I'm surprised that he didn't walk like down towards where Mumu was there, Raptor Pit, but you know, just utilize the flash just to be able to get away. This is
where the Ori and Cho'Gath were there.
Okay, yeah, so it would have been just tragic. Either way, no matter what he would have done, even if his teammates managed to converge, because he did end up having Quay and a Mumu kind of within that range, it looked like. So it's just like, but yeah, no, level 1 fights don't ever go well anymore, at least to my experience. But we do see though in this level 1 trade, Tyler trying to just like be able to like farm off the wave, but can't really walk up when you got Nami Kog'Maw constantly going at you. Cog gonna be able to land the slime there, but not gonna want to continue to attack. Phenomenal though, actually putting a lot of pressure onto Tyler on the Maokai, so it's actually pretty interesting to see a Nami be able to pressure a tank this time around. But Solo Mason now getting a lot of damage onto Just a Dog, and this is once again kind of what was happening beforehand in the first go round, when we started seeing the constant pressure from Solo Mason on in Sin Solo Pickle bot lane, and that was constantly pushing back in Just a Dog and Tyler, so they weren't able to really farm up the wave, and that started building CS advantages, and now they can get these little cheater backs because of the fact that they pushed in so hard.
Yeah, which I like the cheater recall. You know, I'm a huge fan of it. I love shoving. And it's hard to do into a Sivir, right? Like, you know, you get the Q, you get the W, and, you know, and usually that's enough. But when you have this kind of prio phenomenal on this, Nami is able to give so much agency to the to Solo Mason early on, and they're able to just keep pressing. And yeah, when you shove a Sivir under a turret, like that just feels like, okay, we just went man mode here just a little bit. And Small Chow trying to get a little bit of an advantage on the Pickle here, is does get the undertow on, and
yeah, but you don't want to just stick on top of a Kog'Maw while he's just you know, or not Cosmo, wow, still on top of a Garen. I had looked at Cosmo because we just immediately went there. I was like waiting to see if Fish was gonna try to make a little gank there, but it's kind of hard, I feel like, to gank as a Cho'Gath. But now Fiendish Feller managed to get the Bandage Toss to land on top of him, but we do have Tyler with the Prio upside, and that's gonna be the first blood going over to Cake as they drop Concerned Badger.
Okay, and I'm just going to point this out that as much of a Maokai lover as I am, I do not have that kind of patience to not just immediately WQ. So good job by Tyler to let the knockup come through and not kick Concerned Badger out of the queue from Cho'Gath. If they can play like that and they can make plays like that, then this game is going to go the other way, right? Like this is something you do not want to let this Orianna get ahead. Now she's able to buy a tier and forego a little bit of the damage without really losing anything because of that little skirmish there. So good job from Jolly Rogers. This is the answer that you want early on in this game. If you are Jolly Rogers Academy after what happened last game with Sin Solo Pickle. So definitely not the biggest thing or game over just yet, but very good job from the side of Jolly Rogers to kind of answer this and slow down the maybe momentum and potential that they had coming into this.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do. And that's what they need to do. I think, like, for them, they have to show that they can fight back, because last game it did not look good for them. And I know that's probably gonna sting a little bit for the Jolly Roger fans, the Jolly Roger team. It's just kind of, but that's unfortunately and it's just what kind of happened. Like the game one just kind of fell out of your hands, and even I wasn't expecting it to go in that fashion at all. But it's just like, hey, it's game one, you know? Maybe you haven't played League all day today. It's Monday. You might have worked all day. You finally got the chance to actually get the rust off. And that's probably, you know, sometimes that's all you need. Some people just need that game one to kind of kick off and get their fingers warmed up and to get started. So I think for what it is, definitely right now, Jolly Roger Armada definitely looking in much better form as they sit just about 1K up already with only 1 kill on the board. So it's nice because they're definitely farming better. We do see a little bit of farm differential between the top lane and in the mid lane, kind of. It was a little bit steeper earlier, but it looks like Hwei, Concerned Badger, was actually able to keep up a bit. So at least that's the reason why right now, since Solo Pickle has been able to kind of keep themselves up. But we're getting a gank as it's gonna be Tyler. Looking now, he's getting binded down, and it's gonna be enough. Solo Mason with the enhanced auto attacks from his W gonna be able to get the kills. He's gonna be able to make it a double kill. No, he is not. Just flashing over the wall, gonna be able to get the berry out of Just a Dog, trying to chase him down. That's gonna be the double kill, going over to Solo Mason. As now this is gonna be the end. That's gonna be a small little shutdown going over to Fish, but we already got 2 kills on this Kog'Maw. That's gonna be absolutely necessary for him.
Yeah, that is, and that's a huge play from them. The Ghost and the Flash pulled out, and we've been seeing a lot of this. And I've actually adapted this when I'm playing ADC. Is the Ghost on the ADCs, and a lot of these like strong late game carry ADCs. If you can play safe enough that you don't need the barrier, that Ghost is going to be so useful later on. It has a shorter cooldown than the Flash is going to have. So, and you're still going to have the Flash on top of it. So, I like seeing it. I like seeing the stuff that some of the stuff that I do is now King 22. A little bit caught out by this Hwei. One more.
Hwei does so much damage even without the Shockwave going to be used there. Not going to get a lot of damage down, but Concerned Badger definitely looking like he was going to be able to fight there. Fiendish Feller is here. Wants to try to, it looks like Pickle's trying to bait out Small Chow to come down this way, but Small Chow probably sensing that potentially the jungler could be around, so he's not going to go ahead for that. But Tyler is here, this time pulling the phenomenal and just doing a whole lot of roaming. Small Chow, though, going to activate the Ghost, start probably proxying the wave on this side, knowing that he possibly could die if they decide to engage on him.
And he's going to take the wave.
Yep, take the wave and probably try to execute himself instead of kill.
Love that. I mean, that's one of those where you're like, okay, like for one, it was a little suspicious that Garen was kind of pushing out towards you when you have like a wave and a half. Like, yes, I know that we're at level 6, 7 right now, but like that's still a lot of damage that's going to come through, especially when all you have is Berserker Greaves, right? So he did kind of recognize, still, you know, ends up going. Does burn the Ghost, but he doesn't give a kill over, and he doesn't even lose a wave of minions because he proxied. So smart heads up play by Small Chow. I like the little things that they've kind of done here to sort of like come back and just like rewrite the script of game one, and like they're the ones that are making the smarter heads up plays. And like even when they lost the gank counter gank in the bot lane, they still ended up getting the dragon off the back of it, right? Like Fish actually saved his chomp. He didn't end up using it onto Solo Mason under the turret, so, or not chomp, his feast. So he was able to actually feast the dragon and still not have a count there. So good job by them. That's 2 now that he's been able to get off of big minions, and now they get the first 2 objectives, and objectives, although they're not the same as they were last season, still very good as a flash for flash.
Oh, Flash pushes advanced Shockwave, gonna deliver Concerned Badger right into the hands of Cake22. Nicely done by Jolly Roger Armada to get that teamwork done, and that's another kill over to the JRA mid laner.
Yeah, both of these champions are sitting here.
About to be a little fight here. Pickle gonna go ahead, start spinning around, but here comes the ult from the Olaf, and he does so much damage in the 1v1. Gonna drop, and they actually end up getting each other the tower. Gonna be able to save that fight. That's an even 1-for-1 to each other up in the top side.
Is there anything more apropos than those 2 killing each other, like after like the axe hits as the turret shot comes through? That was so awesome. I love it, and I know that there's still a 20 CS gap, but it just seems like these 2 champions are like so evenly matched right now, and that just goes to show you how bad this matchup is for Olaf into a Garen. That that can happen, and you're 20 CS up, and you're still gonna have to like trade that over if you want to get the kill. You're gonna have to trade it. So this just goes to show that Small Chow on a different level this game, doing much better than he was last game, on the set. And this Olaf is much more in his comfort range, and like pulling this out really well into a matchup that he's definitely in the disadvantage of.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing a small difference this time from Cake as well in the mid lane, where they're definitely a lot more aggressive, and it's leading to a more advantage, as we do see they are about 22 farm up on the Hui with the extra kill. The Archangel's already finished and now just stacking up that tier, so she's gonna have that that Orianna's gonna have a decent amount of advantage against Concern, with the constant threat of Shockwave, because that thing is on such a low cooldown even on level 1. So you have to be constantly worrying whether or not the Orianna is just gonna be able to 0 to 100 you. It's actually kind of crazy how much damage that Shockwave does, and I feel like I don't know if it's ever been nerfed recently, but sometimes I feel like it needs to be nerfed.
It's one of those though that if you're paying attention,
they ended up finding
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Using the tidal wave, going to be able to get away. Had to also use their flash, but I think when you have Hex Flash, especially as the Maokai, that's definitely a well worth it trade. Gonna be taking some of the sapling damage too. So this is, I feel like right now it's gonna really be big off the back of Solo Mason, and just hoping that this Kog'Maw can get to a point where they're just shredding damage. Does have the Guinsoo's Rage Blade finished now, so they at least have that one small power spike for the Kog'Maw where that attack speed just ramps up, and it's going to be really hard to just like kind of just to be able to deter a lot of that damage. So I really hope that they that this focus towards the bot lane starts to really amp up, because top lane, even though yes they can go 1-for-1 with a 20 CS gap, it's still kind of annoying that this Olaf is just playing the way that they want to play, and then mid lane unfortunately has a bit of an advantage as well.
Yeah, and this kind of opens up the map for the rest of the team, right? Like with Olaf doing this, we now see that he's getting attention from the Mummy. Is actually going to get into a scrap there as you look on the mini map here, but is able to get away. I think he does more damage than the Mummy and the turrets do, especially with Ragnarok pushed out. So Fiendish does still want to fight this.
Yeah, he does go in, bandage toss, curse of stab, Mummy. Wow, that's a lot more damage coming out, but it is a Leandri's finished on the Amumu, gonna be able to take out Small Chow, and that should give a little reprieve. Oh, Shockwave gonna come out, stop the back of Concerned Badger, and Cake22, knowing it's on such a low cooldown, is gonna want to be able to do that. But we do see the with the Leandri's built on the Amumu, definitely gonna get a little bit more damage out of the abilities there. So that at least helps helps him in that regard, was able to just get him down and gives a little reprieve to the top lane for this Garen, as we're starting to see the Garen starting to really cut down that CS differential that was there before, bringing it down to 10 when it was previously just over 20. So at least we're getting that. We do see that the shutdowns are also no longer up on some of these members here. So if we do, you know, give Hui a little bit of time, he does have his Black Fire Torch done, and just keep giving Kog'Maw the time to scale up. I think that since Solo Pickle doesn't feel as if the game is completely out of their hands, and it's always been within a 1,000 gold lead this entire time, up to 15 minutes, where we saw with the last game, since Solo Pickle was about maybe almost 3,000 to 4,000 gold up at the same time. So they stopped the bleeding potentially from happening, where we saw a lot of the advantage going over to JRA, but now since Solo Pickle is basically, it seems like they adjusted their game really quickly with seeing how the game state was starting.
They did, and that's just one of those mental booms from Small Chow that you probably wouldn't expect. Maybe I cast a curse in because I was glazing him a little bit there before that play happened. And yeah, you know, like when you end up dying behind there, I was thinking more he was going to be getting the as a little bit of a skirmish breaks out, and the Twisted Advance coming through.
Yep, coming through. Gonna force the flash out of Concerned Badger. Oh, no. And you know what? Sometimes though, you rather not be greedy with your flash from time to time. That's just usually how that goes. But now it might be a turnaround, as Tyler was in potentially the wrong place, and Solo Mason almost tagged him. And that could have been a lot of damage going down on that Maokai. Maokai not really that tanky just yet. Only has the cloth armor, so not enough armor to really be able to deter the Kog'Maw's damage at this current moment. And we haven't really been paying as much attention, but Sivir does now have the first item done with the Essence Reaver. Fiendish Feller here, though, focused up as the Drake's not up for another 2.5 minutes. So just trying to see if they can make something happen in this bot lane, as top side... Oh, wait a second. Pickle taking a lot of damage, and Small Chow going ahead and trying to take advantage of that. Does have the Ragnarok up, pops it, goes in on the Pickle. Not going to be able to put the Justice down, and that's going to be a solo kill going over to Small Chow up in the top side.
Yeah, that's just really good. That's just one of those like skill plays, right? Like that's a fingers play. Small Chow ends up winning it out, but the problem is now Fiendish Feller is here with the flash. Yeah. Nothing you can do there.
Yeah, once you Flash jumps in, and it's over. And again, I do like to see that Fiendish is kind of like all over the place, like on the map, but I do. It still feels like though right now JRA has a clear control of the game. I do like the fact that right now SSP has not let it be any more than a 1.5 gold lead. Well, this is now getting close to 2K now. But they're trying to really make sure that they still have a fighting chance in this game, but they haven't really gotten a full team fight as of yet. Like we've seen a lot of Tyler roaming to the mid lane and trying to catch out Concerned Badger consistently, which that is a really good strategy because it's allowing the Orianna to stay consistently 30 farm up on the Hui. But we haven't seen like what could happen if Kog'Maw actually gets the chance to tag somebody with the Nami enhanced E and just keeps going and going and going. And so we're waiting for that team fight. I think that's what they're waiting for. SSP is looking for that team fight situation that's then going to swing the gold lead back in their favor. So we just have to wait and see, as we do get in the chat. In Pickle, we trust. So people believe in the Garen as much as I actually believe in Garen. So we're going to see how that ends up going up in that top lane. But he is actually doing, now he's doing the Pickle thing. He's doing the Small Chow thing. He's proxying the waves and then going through the jungle and just wrapping around the entire map, just being a menace.
And I absolutely love this play, not just because of the play, but the timing. We're 30 seconds to Dragon. If Fish tries to go up and counter this and stop the Garen from doing this, then they automatically basically lose Dragon, right? But he doesn't come. Fish comes over here and starts to group up. And once they see that, now they're forcing the teleport out of the Olaf. Right,
look at this. Twisted Advance gonna drop, but Tyler is caught off on the other side. They summon the Rift Herald in the mid side. They summon the Rift Herald, but Fish not gonna be able to get anybody. First kill gonna go over to Solo Mason. Blue team destroys the turret in the mid lane, but that's gonna be a double kill going over to the Kog'Maw. Triple kill, while also the Garen gonna be able to take out Cake, and that's gonna be 4 kills going over to the side of Sin Solo Pickle. That is the team fight situation that I was just talking about, and that's exactly what they were looking for. And they're gonna transition that into this Infernal Drake.
Yeah, and Jolly Rogers, they were not on the same page there. Maokai jumping in like that and just trying to like flash twisted advance, and then just go with it. Like to me was just the idea was there, but the team was not set up. The teleport was starting to come in from Small Chow, but he just sort of jumped the gun there a little bit. And then allowing Kog'Maw to free fire from the side there like that was just, that is so unfortunate for the side of Jolly Rogers, that, you know, you got the fight that you wanted, you got the flank that you wanted, everybody was where you wanted, but your team was not set up. You had Sivir on the bot side sitting over in the tri-brush ready to flank, but Sivir's not the flanking champion. She's the champion that needs to kind of like be taking out the guys that are trying to, you know, jump on top of her. And so just a little bit of a mismatch in terms of positioning there, that just kind of led to that fight just going so heavily into the side of Sin Solo Pickle. So I think from that point on, I think moving forward, they will end up doing that as hold on, going in.
Ragnarok getting exhausted, but you gotta remember that doesn't work on him. And then Ragnarok trying to get away. Concerned Badger, are you gonna be able to do it? Yes, you do. And they managed to get it with the enhanced abilities. Gonna be enough just to kill him. While Solo Mason goes on a rampage, 6-1 on this Kog'Maw, chasing down Fish, and the Pickle going to drop the justice on top of the Cho'Gath, gonna bring him down. Yes, they secure the bot tier 1, but at what cost? As now the lead is Sin Solo Pickles.
Man, Concerned Badger and Phenomenal as a duo up there at the top. Like, there is only one real way to like take care of an Olaf, and that is to kill him before he gets to you, right? And in this case, like with as much damage as they had, it didn't like seem like it was enough. And the Ragnarok, you know, with the latest change, I know that it's not new, but with the latest change, every time he autos, it just stays up, right? And so like, if he keeps going, there's no way for you to kind of stop that, and we saw that. Like the ult, the bubble didn't help, the no fear, anything. But to have the wherewithal there to get to keep as much space as he could between Small Chow and Concerned Badger was really good. And then having the Nami there, obviously, to help with that movement speed. So like that was like maybe like 2 pixels away from, or 2 spaces away from being a double kill for Small Chow and then just a complete takeover of the game. And instead, you know, now the Jolly Rogers Armada are able to make a play on the other side of the map, and now they really can't do anything, and that's a huge loss for the side of them, as now they taken a pretty good lead here. It's 2K. It doesn't seem like a lot, but they were behind prior to that. So overall, about a 2.5 to 3K gold jump for the side of Sin Solo Pickle, and you've put even more money into this Kog'Maw, who is now 6-1-2. So absolutely huge play from Sin Solo Pickle on both sides of the map. And just things are going well for them. They've turned it around already. Around like since minute 15, the game just kind of seems like it's getting a little bit away from Jolly Rogers Academy. So they need to re-slow this thing down, reset the tempo, and get everything back to where they want it. And then get a good either fight, or maybe even have somebody come up with Small Chow here as he's trying to take matters into his own hands.
He's looking for Concerned Badger. He does have the Ragnarok, and he wants to try to chase this down, but it's looking like Concerned Badger gonna drop his ult first, drop a lot of damage. Now the Ragnarok comes through, picks up the axe, but Fiendish Feller is here to try to save his mid laner. Not gonna be enough, but the bandage toss drops and more damage drops. That's gonna be a shutdown, but at what cost? As you now go down 2, and that's another kill going over to the sad mummy.
Yeah, but I think if you are Small Chow, you take that, right? You got the flash out of Concerned Badger, you got the shutdown, and now, you know, the Mummy also, like Fiendish Feller also had to use their flash there, so that's a little bit of an extra on the engage that you were allowed to get. You put a little bit more money in your pocket. The Starks is now completed. I guess it was already completed, but now you start to get, you know, the first points of the Death Stance here too, so that'll make him even more tanky and even more of a reset sort of champion here. And now Sin Solo Pickle trying to get some vision and some prio on this Baron here, while Cake is up on the top lane, trying to shove this top lane in and get a teleport in to be able to join this fight when they can. But as of right now, it's just, nope. Does look like both teams are just sort of jockeying for position, and I expect this fight to kick off after Olaf gets to the bot lane and kind of shoves that out and makes them kind of have to answer them. But both mid laners do have teleport and are going to be able to join this fight, and now I think it's just going to kind of come down to execution at this point, as both teams do have carries that can put out a lot of damage.
I'm here for some reason in my brain. I'm looking at the Oriana's build and I could just hear anti screaming. Where's the damage?
Yep.
Where's the damage? You got the Banshees. Like, there's a lot of survivability on this Oriana, but where's the damage? And that's gonna be a really big thing. Like, just don't. And that's perfect for the side of SSP, because now they just have to say, like, don't drop all your damage on Oriana first.
Right.
Look for Sivir. Look for somebody else who doesn't have all this survivability, and let's go in. As Pickle does go in, they find Tyler. Not going to be able to see him, but Fiendish Fella does get the bandage toss. Tyler walking up way too far. We do have the Olaf on the backside. Pickle's going to be able to take out the first kill, going on a killing spree, and the double kill, going over to the Garen as he's able to take them out, spinning to winning in the middle of the whole team. Going to get taken up with the shockwave, but it's not going to be enough to be able to stop him as the shutdown goes over to Solo. The shutdown on Solo Mason is going to go over the Fish, but it's not going to be enough. The Cho'Gath going down as Fiendish Fella's going to be going on a killing spree, and Kate getting chased out by the Garen. He can't take any more. His concerned Badger's going to be able to take out just a dog. And it's not enough. The only member left is going to be Cake 22 on the wrong side of the map, and he's going to get dropped. Nicely done by the side of SSP, taking the sole lead of the game and showing why they're the #1 team once again.
Yeah, they just got the one that they wanted there. This was a much better fight than the one that happened at the Dragon 2 Dragons ago, where Jolly Roger just sort of like got them all themselves out of position. This one was just a little bit, it was better as far as what they wanted to get out of it, but it just wasn't enough. And now Sin Solo Pickle with the last 2 dragons, and I always talk about this, like, you can tell the way that the game kind of went by looking at the dragons. You have 2 distinct dragons on the side of JRA. Obviously they got the first 2, and then every other objective going the way of SSP since then. It just kind of tells the tale, right? Like, they get the rift after losing oh, as another fight's about to come in. Here's Tyler's caught out.
They find Tyler. Forces his flash immediately. They're giving them absolutely no avenue at all. And now that they do have the lead here, they're taking so, as you can see, they get the lead. Now they're trying to take much more control of this map. And it's crazy how the JRA looked so good in the beginning. Like, for the first 15 minutes of this game, they looked absolutely cracked. And then one team fight happens. And as you said, like they pointed out, you had Solo Mason literally free firing off on the side, and there's a big triple kill that ends up going over to this Kog'Maw. And it leads to now what we are looking at, a 3K gold lead over to the side of Sin Solo Pickle, and off the back of finding consistently really good team fights that are actually advantageous. And even with the Olaf doing his job and getting into the back of a team fight, he wasn't able to take them down. Pickle having the immediate like awareness to be like, hold on, the Olaf is back there, let me get over here first before I chase down anybody else. And that immediately led to helping him. And the Pickle now able to just fight off the Small Chow here and not afraid of him at all. Small Chow having to back off. Fiendish Feller now here popping the ghost, and that's gonna be a pivotal summoner spell for Small Chow that's going to be dropped for a little while.
Yeah, that's what he wants to use in conjunction with the Ragnarok to get onto the back line here. And yeah, he's just not tanky enough. He's 4-8-1. Like, he is probably the strongest member on JRA, and I think 1v1 outside of the Garen, he does beat everyone. But now we're going to get a team fight here in the mid lane.
Righty, Twisted Advance going to be able to find the Nami. Phenomenal might end up losing his life. Yes, he will, as he gets up getting feasted by Fish. As Fiendish Fella, though, going to be able to find the Maokai up on the backside. And here goes Pickle looking to save the world, as he does. Barely Solo Mason not going to be able to drop King 22. Once again, the only member left on the side of his team, really trying to get away, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so around this time. But he is on the right side. Flash, Bandage Toss, going to be able to blast Conan right back into the team, and that's going to be the ace given by the Garen. And this is the Baron for the side of SSP, once again dominating in fashion.
SSP creating so much space for their Kog'Maw. For one, they jump onto Phenomenal. Yes, they do get him, but they, at what cost, right? And they weren't able. The target right now is Solo Mason, and Jolly Roger's Academy does not have the damage to get him, to lock him down and take him out. Everybody on SSP has the idea, we have one job: keep Solo Mason alive. Everything else that we do is gravy, and they are just like they're just doing this like almost to perfection at this point. This has become like a sort of like, we can all do damage, but all we need to do is create space for him. The lockdown from that 4-man Curse of the Sad Mummy was absolutely
huge. And off the back of losing your support that gives so much to Kog'Maw, like Nami does so much for Kog'Maw, kind of like a Lulu or a Janna would, and like to be able to take her out and then still have Solo Mason just sit there and dish out so much damages. Now they're about to just catch out Dog.
Oh, just the Dog about to be shredded. Solo Mason gonna be able to take him down and going on a killing spree, and Fish is looking like his next target, gonna get taken into the shockwave, but there's so much sustain from the Nami, not gonna be able to get any damage on the Solo Mason. Also, not much damage from the Orianna with this itemization. Currently, Tyler gonna be able to barely get away. The artillery fire not gonna be able to find him, as we do have Small Chow trying to come up for a flank, but Phoenix Feather gonna be able to cut him off. So he blast cones into his own base, and the Pickle gonna be going ahead and taking down that tier 2 bot as the Baron Puff is pushing into their inhibitor tower. Oh, this is so unfortunate. Tyler, though, Twisted Advance gonna drop as the Ragnarok is being taken in. The tidal wave not gonna be able to do anything, but Solo Mason gonna be able to go on a rampage. He's able to find a kill. That's gonna be a double kill going over to the Kog'Maw as the Pengu. Garen gonna be able to take down 2, and that's a double kill with just the Dog. Found the Sivir, the sole lonely member of the side of JRA. 11k gold up, and they're looking to take this game 2 as the Baron and Power Cannon minions continue to bear down the Nexus towers. Just the Dog, just the Sivir, and just dead as well. Garen secures them the ace. It look, actually no, that was the Kog'Maw that secures them the ace, and that's gonna be the game 2 going over to SSP, and they're on game point.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody kind of secured that ace there. I think just kind of walking up, that was like a knuckles clenched type of reaction from JRA. I think that early on they came out with the game plan, and then as soon as the game didn't keep going their way, as soon as that one bad team fight sort of started out, I kind of feel like that's obviously where the entire I guess tempo of the game like shifted, back to the other way. So yeah, they had the good idea. They were playing it really well. Small Chow, made up for game 1 and was beating the Pickle. I think that Just the Dog and Tyler did a great job on the bot lane, and they played to their strengths. And Kate, even though they didn't build a lot of damage, was very strong on this Orianna, especially early on. But once that first team fight went awry, I could almost feel the energy being sucked out of JRA. And I can't say this because I wasn't in there, but that seemed like the type of reaction where like the call kind of gets silent. Like all of the talking and everything that was going on is just like, and that dead space and that lack of direction that usually comes after that, especially when you see how that game kind of went after, is sort of indicative of kind of like maybe where their mental is at. So hopefully during this break, they can come back and they can say, listen guys, let's just get one. Let's have fun. Maybe they go on a comfort picks or something. Let's just get one. And then after one, move on from there.
Yeah, honestly, I am very concerned about JRA's mental at the current moment after that game, because the first 15 minutes looked like their game. Like they were truthfully in that control, and then all of a sudden I cast a curse them. I literally said like, oh, the team fight that SSP needs hasn't really happened yet. They haven't gotten into a team fight situation, and then they do. And then everything goes in their favor. Kog'Maw free firing off of the side and then managing to get a triple kill in that fight, along with Garen just having the awareness to make sure that Olaf is nowhere to be found on top of the squishies in the back end. And then it leads to them getting I believe that was their first Drake, because that was the first Infernal Drake that they all fought over. And then after that, it was just consistently, even though, yes, they could get Concerned Badger on certain situations or like caught off on the side lane, Concerned Badger wasn't the main person you had to worry about. It was that Kog'Maw that you had to worry about, along with this Garen who felt like he was spinning at 1,000,000 miles a minute, doing so much damage. It was just something that like I really thought that like JRA had found their secret formula, and they kind of were messing with Sun Solo Pickle a bit, and I thought that was what's gonna end up being like their like this was gonna open up the series for them here. I thought this game 2 was gonna be the opening of the series and really bring us like to the full stretch. I think that they need that, like you said, maybe go on some comfort picks, but just try to bring it up just one step forward, because they do have the capability to beat this game. If you could beat them for the first 15 minutes, if you keep up the consistency, you could beat them in a full game. So I have I do fully believe that Jolly Roger Armada has the ability to do this. They just need to maybe just hype themselves up a bit, go on some comfort picks, and just really come out, like just ready to go bare knuckle brawl. Like, just do what you guys need to do, whatever's gonna make you feel the best to potentially win, and really give Sin Solo Pickle. Don't let if they're gonna make this a 3-game series, give them a hell of a game 3. If not, at least try to bring them all the way to the distance. You now have the chance to reverse sweep. Are you going to be able to do it, though, is the real question. And we're going to try to find that out after this break, right before Game 3 with Titans Eternal, Sin Solo Pickle versus Jolly Roger Armada. Don't go nowhere. And welcome back to Titans Eternal. Once again, you guys are joining in just now. You just missed another ultimately kind of another dominant game by Sin Solo Pickle. I want to say definitely though, we got to give Jolly Rogers Armada their credit. They definitely for the first 15 minutes of that game had a really good grip on the lead, a really good grip on what they were trying to do, especially with the Olaf on the top side, kind of being that menace and just leading to at least an initial lead for the side of JRA. But then all of a sudden, one team fight happened, and Sin Solo Pickle immediately ran with it, and it just led to them constantly just being able to find these more team fights actually, and then eventually got to the point where then all of a sudden team fights weren't necessary anymore. All they needed was a EW combo from Nami Kagma, and they could just chase you down. It was such a very interesting game for game 2, and now I'm willing to see how JRA is going to adjust the game 3, because now they have to go the absolute distance to be able to even win this series, and it's going to be a mountain to climb, because right now Sin Solo Pickle is absolutely on fire with the way that they're playing these games. And so hopefully maybe they can make something happen within the draft, as we mentioned before. Like, they got to maybe go on some comfort picks. Something good has to happen here as we do get the first ban phases. We're gonna see from the side of JRA, it is the Nico, Mel, J4 that are going to be banned in this ban 1 phase, while we do see for the side of Sin Solo Pickle, they are getting rid of Corky, Nefiri, and Caitlyn.
I called Caitlyn last time, and now they get it because the J4 is banned over from JRA. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what this B1 is. Okay, so it's putting Cake on a very strong Assassin mobile APC, and I like that. And they banned the Mel because Mel has been one of those champions that can kind of negate the Ari pretty well, and then everybody else that they want to throw. As we're going to see Solo Mace or Just a Dog on the Yunara. Okay, so they did swap. JRA is on the red side now, so they're going to get the Prio pick in the end here. So they are going to go for the Yunara and then the Nocturne. So they want I like that they want to go for the aggressive jungler in Fish. And there's two things you can do here. One is completely just shut down the lanes and wait for Nocturne to hit 6, right? And then after that, go for it. Kind of like what Sin Solo Pickle did in game 1 with the Ashe when they waited until Enchanted Crystal Arrow was like level 2 on cooldown. I kind of like that from JRA here with the Nocturne. I think that's a play. Or don't wait until 6. Surprise the crap out of Sin Solo Pickle and get in these lanes. Specifically, this top. Oh yes, I love TF with Nocturne. We'll get into that in a second. But get into this top lane and get Small Chow a lead. Like, put him on a champion since you have prio pick, or not prio pick. You have counter pick for your top laner. Get him on a champion that is going to beat the top laner, and then sit there and get him ahead. Please, can we see him ahead? Because we did see him in a losing matchup actually win it, so I would like to see him as he gets ahead. And so far, by the way, I absolutely love this. I love Nocturne along with TF. It is guaranteed CC in your mid lane, and maybe this is a chance for Cake to shine.
And then we're now seeing the ban
top,
2.
yes,
We're seeing the now in the ban phase 2. We do see a lot of supports being picked out here, as the Karma, Yumi, and Lulu are all dropped off from the pick phase, as it's just gonna be very, very you don't want any potential protection for this Zeri and or for this Yunara to allow them to ramp up. So with Nami being one of the best ones taken off the board already, and Seraphine gone, right now we're gonna be looking at some very interesting options for supports, as we do get the Braum picked for the side of Sin Solo Pickle in response to the Jax that was picked up by JRA. And now that they know what's going up in the top side, I'm sure that we're gonna see that some nice counter pick for Pickle, and it's gonna be the Malphite here picked up, and since we know for a fact they're not going to be getting a Silas.
Yeah, so I mean, Jack support. I've watched TF Blade do it before, right? It's going to be the Rakan. Okay, so I like this into a Braum. If you can get Braum to hit you, you can just EW away on the Rakan. He's extremely mobile. There's no Poppy and no Talia, so like Tyler has to be happy with this. I am kind of surprised that they went for the counter pick on the support, but I think this is a wonderful pick. I think this is great. This is exactly what you need. It's going to give Yunara almost as much protection as Braum is going to give Solo Mason. So I do think that this has the potential to be a very strong bot lane for the side of JRA. I love the TF Nocturne. Like, at level 6, this becomes a let's just do this on cooldown and we can just kind of kill this Ari. As long as Cake can play this matchup really well, which why would you pick this into if you couldn't? And then obviously the I don't know if this is a graphics glitch, but it still has Jax on Just a Dog, so I don't know if this is a Jax in the bot lane. I doubt it, but that would be freaking amazing if it was. So I was kind of throwing up. Okay, there we go.
There it goes.
So, yeah. So I do really like the comp from JRA. The problem is that they need to make sure that they don't have what happened last game, right? Because SSP, there's not much you can say about this draft. It is a wonderful draft. Like the Braum Zeri is very good, has the lockdown. The Ari, absolute, stout control mage in the mid lane. The Malphite jungle has picked up so much traction over the last season, and the Mundo top, right? And so I don't think that there's any like super weak spot for the side of SSP. I think that, and once the team fight starts, we need to see JRA, if they lose one, to just kind of get back to what was working for them beforehand.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think I like this game a lot better for JRA in general, just because it's not as easy to look at SSP comp and see exactly how they win out in fights, especially when you're gonna have, as you were saying, the TF Nocturne combination on top of each other, as we're gonna get an immediate brawl in this mid lane. Electrocute already procced on him. Phenomenal now here, gonna be not able to land the Winter's Bite. The Malphite not starting with a Q, but we're gonna get the stun, and they're gonna just jump on top of him. First blood going over to Cake 22 early on in this game. We finally get a level 1 fight, and it goes the way of JRA.
Cake, I would love you if you just go ADTF. I know you took comment, just do it anyways. I've been playing a crap ton of it, and it's so much fun. Yeah, and that kind of like one of the things where you actually baited this out. Like, we don't see level 1 fights anymore, right? And even though Phenomenal was hanging around there, it didn't look good for Cake. I was like, oh, what are you doing? But no, perfect bait. And then into the Jax, the Counter-Strike stun, and then obviously the gold card on top there. And that's what I was talking about early on with this is, you have this point and click ranged CC lockdown that after, I think, like the third point put into it, it's on like a 6-second cooldown, right? So super strong from the side of JRA for their mid laner, if they can keep this lead and stay ahead, as now the Pickle is having to deal with this Jax here, but does end up hitting level 2, which is absolutely huge.
Oh man, if he stayed a second longer, that would have definitely been a kill for the side of Pickle. Flash, Counter-Strike, gonna be able to get it. One more bonk on the head, and Small Child gonna be taking the solo kill up in the top side.
Okay, I want to say this before we get into anything else. I am not rooting for JRA. However, it is really, really nice to see them come out swinging like this. I think this is exactly what they needed here. And win or lose this game, this is kind of how you wanted the first or mainly the second game to kind of go for them. And now they're kind of having it come out here. And Cake with the lead. We were talking about this in the break. Cake and Concerned Badger are both masters. They're both the best players on their team. So you have a lead on a champion that has global and lockdown and a ton of potential damage. Let's see if you can do something with it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that's what makes this team actually extremely scary to work around, especially when you got to be careful with the teleport that could potentially come from the Jax. Is the fact that, again, it's Nocturne TF. And if you turn off the lights and put everyone into darkness, somebody's getting picked off, because you don't have vision, but they definitely have vision of you. And AO and an all-seeing vision that is with the TF ultimate. So at any point in time, once you hit level 6, it is literally, you are constantly in danger. Zeri in danger, Ari potentially in danger, even though she has some escape. And if you're trying to help out the Jax, Mundo is potentially even in danger. So this early game level 6 can actually turn this early game into a big lead for the side of Jolly Roger's Armada if they play it right and they play to that insane map advantage that they're going to be able to gain with the TF global, with the TF semi-global level 1, but then eventually becomes fully global once they actually get a couple more points into it. And I think Fiendish was able to steal a couple of those.
I think he did too, but the smite went over to Fish, and that's like the big one. When it
Small
comes to those,
Chow
is
gonna
Small
get
Chow just
another
gonna-
solo
Yeah.
up in the top side. That's just tragic to see on the, for this Mundo. Recurve bow already done for the Jax. A little bit of farm up, and Small Chow really trying to really make a statement up in this game, and that must be hard to play, especially when you have no flash up for that Mundo. That's just tragic.
Yeah, and that's kind of like that's what they need right now. They need somebody to just put it on the table and then just just go with it, and you can't look back. You can't leave anything out here, and that's what Small Chow and Cake are kind of doing here, especially Small Chow now, because he was pivotal to the initial kill onto the Ari, where he was able to get the counter strike and good follow up from Cake and Fish, and then yeah, like you were saying, like this little lead that they have can turn into something absolutely huge. And this is what I was talking about in the draft, about how Rakan can soak up the Braum passive and just like take it away. Like he had 3 stacks on him. There's nothing you can do because it just goes away. So I love the answer in the bot lane as well. I don't normally like R5 support picks, but when it works out, it works out. And if this lane is indicative of anything, it's that JRA is on a much more comfortable piece here than they have been in the last 2 games, because this already is looking better for them as well.
Like I said, if they can just survive, if they can bring the lead for the first 15 minutes, they can definitely bring the lead for the rest of the game. Counter-Strike gonna come out here. Mundo, though, gonna have his passive up, so he's not gonna get caught by the CC in this moment. But Small Chow, being level 6, is not afraid of this level 5 Mundo and is just dropping a lot of damage down on him. So that's gonna be very interesting. I know this might... Yeah, he's gonna... I feel bad for the Mundo. This is the one time that we're seeing like Pickle really on the back foot this time around.
Yeah, he's trying to soak up the experience here, get the level 6, and then go. Maybe hope that Small Chow overextends, which is a potential.
Yeah, nope. Small Chow's thinking like, hold on, nope, that's he's been gone for a little too long now. So he suspected that potentially even maybe the jungler could even be up there waiting to gank him as well. So we got to be careful. Both of these junglers are soon going to be hitting level 6 here. Malphite's going to be very interesting with how he engages, but Fish just having, as long as he has vision on somebody, he's probably going to be pressing that R button. But we do have Fiendish Fella looking for the top side. Pickle gonna be going in, uses his ultimate, gonna get the counter strike, bait out the stun, trying not to use the charge here, gonna be able to get it, knocks him up. Small Child now trying to walk away, having to use his ultimate, able to jump, and now Fish is here, only level 5 though, so doesn't have the ability to just engage on top of Pickle there, who is half health. It's Small Child gonna be able to get away. This just wasn't enough damage for Mundo and Malphite to be able to drop him.
No, it wasn't. And Cake and Concerned Badger going here too. We're gonna get the card reset here in about a second. Yep, there it is.
Here we go. Gets the stun, ignite. Is they gonna be able to get it? Forces the flash out of the Ari, but not gonna be able to get the kill there. But if they could push this wave in quick enough, they might be able to get it. Yeah, Ari sticking around, having to try to get as much of this wave as possible, stay as even as possible with this TF. It's looking like right now for the side of Sin Solo Pickle, their bot lane is probably the most stable thing at the moment. And that's kind of actually been the tale of the last 2 games, where their bot lanes tend to be the bot lane tends to be very, very stable, and then eventually once they get into team fights, they're able to find their footing and be able to run with the lead of the game. But right now, 2K gold up at 8 minutes is not what you want to be seeing, especially up in that top side where this Jax is just going to become a problem for anybody else that he jumps on.
Yeah, and I kind of understand that you want to make sure that the Jax doesn't get completely out of control, but your stable lane, as you said, is the bot lane. And so I don't think that it would be a terrible idea if Fiendish kind of saves his ultimate for the bot lane and starts going in there. Really smart play by Small Chow to not try to finish off the Pickle there during that engage with the Malphite. Jumps on top and basically makes it so that the Pickle can't really fight inside of the 2 of them, and was able to soak up the Malphite ultimate, and kind of get the best of it, even though it wasn't like the best situation, and then ends up getting out. And it's probably better, honestly, that Fish did not have his ultimate there, because I think that play was perfect as it was, and I don't think that it needed to be turned away any other way than how it ended up.
And I completely agree with that. Like there's no need, especially when again you are on match point, you're not trying to lose this game. The last thing you need to do is start giving away more goal or potentially giving
Yeah.
up your lead by just throwing yourself into the wind. And so definitely a good well save. We do see that right now though, Fiendish is a decent amount ahead up in farm on top of the on the Nocturne, and that is something that might come into play later on. As we have seen, farming has become significantly more important than it has been in the past when it comes to junglers. So having that 20 CS difference shows, as you can see, there's also a 2-level difference on Fiendish in comparison to Fish. So there is at least that difference that is going for them. And so even though they're 2k down,
I'll fight hovering here.
yeah, he's trying to hover mid, and I mean TF won't have an easy escape either. So this ultimate, I would like to see that, like maybe start influencing more mid and bot than worrying about the top side. I think you just need to kind of let Pickle be on this weak side laner. I know that you don't want to just allow Jax just to be free farming at this point up in the top side, but this 30 CS difference is starting to really show, especially with the Bork being fully finished and the Warmogs not even being only being about halfway done for the Mundo.
Well, I think too is that you end up buying 3 Giants belts before you finish your Warmogs. If I know the build correctly on Mundo, I mean he might have to just rush the Warmogs here because I don't think that there's any indication of him being anywhere close. So I think you just want to get whatever you can out of it. But I think the passive kind of requires the extra Giants belt for it to go through. At least on Summoner's Rift. And here it's different, but it does look like we're going to get the first of the 2 global potentials here in the bot.
Yep, there we go. Gonna immediately turn off the lights, engage onto Braum, and that's probably not the target you were looking for, but he just used it and was able to get out safely, at least pushing them ahead. But now, without that tool, we do see that the Fiendish does have the ult advantage this time around. So when the fight does come around for this Drake, he's gonna be able to engage immediately onto whoever he wants to, as long as he doesn't engage onto the one man with the spell shield. They should be able to get some kind of target here.
Yeah, and I do like I know this is a duh moment, but this is something that is usually overlooked by the side of a lot of people in these leagues too, is that you have a TF. That blue ward that is in the middle brush on the south side of the middle brush is so important. Every single time that TF has even gone into the brush, let alone gone past it, immediately Solo Mason and Phenomenal are backing up here, right? And so what I think might be a good idea is if TF, instead of going down or up through the brushes, just kind of goes back to his turret out of vision, and then you can go top or you can go bot lane from there. And I think maybe that might be a little bit of a better use of it. But yeah, there's just good vision, good communication. Obviously, we're going to get that out of SSP. They've shown no reason why they wouldn't. And we are seeing the new Gunblade on TF, so I haven't tried this build on him just yet because I've been terrible in going with AD TF. So, but yeah, the Gunblade is definitely something interesting, and like when it came out and I was reading about it, I felt like that's something that like he would really be good on this, right? Like him, a Kennen, maybe somebody that really wants to kind of use both of the scaling attributes that come through. First pick with this, and then once he gets his rapid fire, I'm assuming he's going to go. Like that's going to make it to where he becomes a real pain in the butt to deal with, and then potentially we'll start seeing more of this Nocturne, maybe ulting in the mid lane instead of going towards like the bot or the top side. And roaming up here, I would like to see maybe an ultimate used on the Ahri in the mid lane. I know that she has hers as well, but maybe Nocturne going in there. Like I said, like we said earlier, like you have the guaranteed CC, you have all this, like all these tools to be able to utilize this TF and utilize the Nocturne really well. Maybe instead of trying to double global to the bot lane or the top lane, go for that as now Small Chow gonna go in onto the Pickle once again.
Gonna activate his ult, gonna just both of them pop the ulties. He decides that he doesn't want to fight anymore. That healing from Mundo can be very deceptive and how much it actually does. As we're gonna see the grand entrance. Here we go, the ult jumping right on top of this area. Are they gonna be able to get him? Yes, he is. Fish gonna be able to take out Solo Mason. Phenomenal just gonna have to walk away as Fiendish is not able to get there quick enough. That's a nice use of the Nocturne ultimate and another kill on the board for the side of JRA. 3k gold up at just under 15 minutes. This is exactly the game that they were looking for.
Yeah, and you get the kick roam too because he came through, I think, the jungle there. So I don't even think that they ended up seeing him come down. But yeah, great call from them. You saw as soon as the pings came out, they just went. And Tyler hovering inside of a bush against the Braum, like, come on, bro, you know something is up here, right? as that play comes through. So the first time so far that we've seen like a little bit of miscommunication being the reason that they ended up getting caught. But you know, I mean, you throw enough poop at the wall, eventually something's gonna stick, right?
Ooh, and then they're gonna engage onto the mid lane, try to get something, and that's gonna be a shutdown as they manage to take down. Cake in that mid side, getting a little bit of a return for them over there. Malphite nicely done, looking for that awareness there, and Tyler not gonna be able to help out his mid laner, unfortunately. First kill on the board for Sinsolo Pickle.
Yeah, no, I like that call where they're just like, okay, we see the recon. We don't want this to become like a 2v3 or give the opportunity for maybe Fish or somebody else to show up. So they just make the call. Concern Badger, we're really good on this Ari. You know, I don't know how many times I have to say that about this guy. Like, so good on this champion. And yeah, it just shows kind of like right there. Now Fish hovering the top side, which I think is the smart play. You lose your mid laner. Let's go make something happen with our huge carry in the top lane. And now it looks like a little bit of like a 2v2 starting up here in the top lane, but I don't think anything's going to come out of it. Mundo, rightfully so. You got it back here. Maybe even have to give up this turret. But at the very least, get your teleport going, as now the Rift is more than likely going to go over to Nocturne. And Fish going to pick this up along with Jax helping him out.
Yeah, and I like the way that Jolly Roger Armada is actually playing this game right around now. This is a stark difference. I feel from games 1 and 2 for them, as they just have a lot more agency this time around, and I think that has the fear of the fact that the Nocturne not knowing where they exactly are at any moment, just having that constant like push a button and you immediately no longer can see. And vision, as we know, is an extremely important thing in this game. So for them, it's just the moment that he can turn off everything that you see. Hold on, Charm gonna activate. They're just going ahead and making another gank. Concern Badger though this time able to get that kill, and that's gonna now bring the gold lead down for down to 2k for the side of JRA. But that's another kill secured onto Cake in that mid lane, and that's the only part that sucks about being a TF, is that you really have no mobility to get away from that. And if you don't have a stun card preemptively locked in, well, either way, if it's against a Malphite, it doesn't really matter. Fish is now here, be able to defend and get them to back off of his support. But they're now trying to toss around this Drake, but we do see Small Child trying to get a bit of damage onto the Mundo up in the top side. Not going to land the Charm, not going to land the Winter's Bite, and so we're going to see a little bit of a standstill. 3-on-3, but no ADC right now for the side of Sinsolo. Oh, they didn't see him behind there. Gonna turn off the lights and immediately go onto the Aubrey, trying to get her, and they're able to do so. Small Child going on a killing spree as the Yunara. Now this time being the one to free fire from the backside. Azeri is trying to get someone, but not gonna be able to do so with her ultimate. Can she get the Jax? No, she can't. No. He's gonna be able to barely walk away. Double kill going over to the Twisted Fate as they try to do something, but that's an absolute disaster of a fight for the side of Sinsolo Pickle and Jolly Roger Armada, now officially showing that they absolutely have stakes in this series.
Yeah, and somebody said it earlier, somebody smart. You turn out the lights and you can't see the teleports, you can't see the flanks, you can't see anything coming in. That was you, by the way. And that's exactly what they did there. You have the Jax say, okay, I'm teleporting. As soon as the teleport comes up, they just shut the lights out. They both go in. You can see everybody thanks to Cake's ultimate. And so between him and the Nocturne, you know, just a really strong fight. And like you said, on the backside, Cake getting a double kill there, absolutely huge. That's a lot of money in the TF's pocket. Small Child taking over this top lane here. And hopefully it doesn't stay too far, but it does look like maybe he overextends. But you did just get the turret for this, so potentially this could be
oh yeah, this is
a good play. But
oh wait, he might be able to get away. Malphite ultimate gonna come out, and they're gonna give the shutdown to the right person for this one. Giving it over to the Zeri, definitely gonna help accelerate her a bit, as she was falling a tiny bit behind the Yunara. But at the very least, though, that's a big shutdown going over to the side of Sinsolo Pickle, and hopefully can keep them in this game a little while longer. Now, Cake gonna be the one to try to match up with the Mundo, as Mundo gets a lot of plating, but whoa, this is a lot of damage coming out of Cake here. Gonna be able to land the stun on him, but backing off now as he doesn't have enough damage and no support to be able to help kill him off here. So Fish is here too. They got to be very careful. This Nocturne at any moment could just jump on top of you, and that's not going to be fun.
Yeah, and there's another side effect of this thing too with the TF, and I know I've been talking about these two more than they talk about like Nocturne or Oriana, is that like on the bot side, Cake can just ult. And then you see everybody, and Fish can just go off of that. It's like having a an all-seeing thing. Is ooh, Tyler, fancy. Gonna have to pop the ultimate to get out of there, but you know, good job by Concerned Badger just basically saying, hey, you can't just be back here. This is illegal. Get out of here. But another little fun play that you can end up doing is like just have Cake ult from the bot lane, and you can see everybody on the map, and then you can kind of pick a target that way as well. So I do really like this comp so far. They're playing it really well, and even though they had like a small misstep, they didn't let themselves fold like they did in game one. And now Fiendish Feller is going to try to take advantage of Small Chow again here, who seems a little bit overextended once again, but is now going to be caught here. So Small Chow, unlike game 1 and 2, is not getting caught out as much. I think he's gotten caught twice now, only had to pay the price once. But that is something that has been like one of the stories of this series so far, has been Small Chow getting caught out. So if he can reel that back in, make a good play, and then not give his life every single time he gets an objective or some sort of advantage, then this can kind of continue, and this can be like a building block of the series, and you can finally put a little bit of, a pressure onto SSP to finish this thing out, as they are starting to corral around this TF in the top lane, and
Oh, Ari losing the Spirit Rush, gonna try to find him, doesn't get the charm to land, so can't get that extra bit of damage. Ari ulti gonna be down, but with the Malignant should be on a pretty decently low cooldown, especially at level 14. So they're not too worried about that. They were just looking for that pick off, was not able to get it, but they didn't lose anything major for it as well. As the Rift Herald going to be dropped off in this bot lane, and Small Chow going to be trying to get a little bit more off. This should be it once the Rift Herald chart goes through. That's going to be the bot tier 1 dropped for JRA. Or since Solo Pickle is going to be dropped, and JRA going to be able to secure a turret for themselves. 4K gold up at 20 minutes. This is already looking a little bit harder for the side of SSP, but this is all off the back of this Jax just being absolutely insane, while the Nocturne and the silently the Yunara is actually starting to stack up a little bit of a lead for themselves. Yunara was 20 farm down just a little bit earlier, and now has been able to bring that to within about 5 to 7 gold, 5 to 7 CS.
Yeah, but that's Solo Mason. I mean, if there's anything that has been absolutely like consistent this series, has been Solo Mason's play. Now, he didn't pop off in game 1 like he did in game 2, but he was still a big catalyst as to why they were getting all the plays that they had. So I don't expect him to fall super behind or anything. I don't think that there's really much that JRA can do to kind of break him, so that's kind of expected. We do see TF sort of hovering around this mid lane here. It does look like he wants to maybe try to get an engage or press this top, and as they're doing a great job this game, JRA, of having a lot of vision around where their teammates are, they're using that to sort of be like, hey, we should be safe here, we're pretty good here, we see Malphite here, we saw the pings as Malphite moved up to the mid lane earlier, that they know where he's at, and they're not going to just get caught out constantly in this game. As now the ultimate comes out, it looks like we're going to have a fight.
Yep, we're going to see the ultimate drop. TF teleports up to the top side of the river over in the mid lane, and they're actually not going to press the go button here, seeing that they didn't feel like they had the advantage there, and there was 4 people corralling around each other, so Nocturne going in could have potentially been his imminent death, and this is what you like to see. They kind of force these things out. You like to see that the fact that even though Sin Solo Pickle is behind, they are forcing these different things out. The charm actually lands on the Fish. Fish forced the flash, goes in the middle, big 4-man knockup for the side of Sin Solo Pickle, gonna lead to a shutdown as a double kill, gonna go over to the Zeri, and they're able to not get Solo Mason, but Small Chow coming in for the save, gonna be able to drop them, but Mundo is here too, and that's gonna be 4 versus 3, but Small Chow still doing so much work. Double kill going over to the Jax as JRA continues to push. Concerned Badger gonna be able to get that shut down as Braum gets dropped by Tyler, but the double kill going on to the Ari. Mundo picking up a kill for himself, and now that's gonna be a big team fight win for the side of Sin Solo Pickle. They are still in this game.
Fiendish Feller, man. Talk about another consistent player in this series. Fiendish Feller, dude. such a good job there, getting that 4-man ultimate in the brush there, not only giving vision, forcing out the flashes defensively from the side that was trying to take the fight. He just kind of said, I'm the rock, I'm moving up here. And then between his itemization and then that ultimate at the backside of that, or the beginning part of that fight was absolutely huge. And then there was just so much follow-up coming through. Phenomenal on his Braum, being able to block so much damage coming out. And even though it looked like they were kind of like, oh snap, now we're getting flanked over by the Jackson, this isn't going well, they still had the wherewithal to keep their wits about them. They were still able to kind of get everything that they wanted out of that fight. And then to turn like what looked like a potential overextension from the Malphite into a 5-3 ace. So good for the side of SSP. This might be the part where they kind of turn this game around, and be able to sort of take this, from the clutches of JRA, who had such a strong early lead coming into that fight. Now, instead of it being
Small Child's going to be dropping a lot of damage on top of the Pickle. Pickle now having to just casually walk away. Even though, like you're saying, they're starting to catch back up. Small Child, though, still so dangerous on this Jack. The Dusk and Dawn, the Bork, and now going into the, I believe, the Sundered Sky next. That's going to be an absolutely insane Jax to try to kill.
It is. I would like to see maybe... either an Executioner's Calling or something. Maybe not a Mortal Reminder if he doesn't want to go any crit or anything like that. But I would like to see at least a little bit of heal cut onto him, because you do have Ari, you do have Zeri doesn't have any lifesteal, but you do have the Mundo, you do have Ari that have a lot of innate healing that comes out of their abilities. So I would like to kind of see okay, maybe I sell this Doran's Blade for an Executioner's, and we stick with the 40%, and then you can decide whether you want to go into the Mortal Reminder, or you want to go into the Kempunk sword, something. So maybe we'll see if that ends up going. But I do kind of feel like as this game gets a little bit longer and longer and longer, Mundo gets tankier and tankier and tankier, and then eventually this Jax becomes less and less useful. So I do kind of want to see some sort of transition into that. But yes, Small Chow right now has put this team on his back, has been making a lot of the big plays. He was almost the reason that he was the reason that they almost won that fight after 4 people getting caught by Unstoppable Force, to kind of come back in and turn that entire fight around. It's like this is just so close to being flipped either way. This is the most coin flippy game that we have seen at this point, right? It's only a 2K gold lead, but we're 25 minutes in. The longer we get, the less 2K means. And this is the kind of game that I was hoping that we would see games 1 and 2. Unfortunately, we're getting a game 3, but fortunately, we're at least getting it.
Yeah, as a caster, I have a very specific rule. If it's not more than 3,000 gold, I don't necessarily consider it a real gold lead, because I've watched so many coin flips. Oh no, Cake gonna get engaged on, and that's just so unfortunate. We're gonna end up getting the points.
Yeah.
Oh no, pay for the buffer, the small indie company buffer. Oh no, not right when this is happening.
There it goes.
Oh, we gotta wait.
Maybe
for
the game
it.
just shuts down and Cake survives.
Nope. No, I don't think that's going to end up happening. So many ults dropped for the TF, but it's just making a statement. We are still here. We are still in this game. And even though you guys have been ahead in the beginning, we're coming back for you.
Yeah, Mundo might be getting that kind of treatment down on the bot lane here. Oh, never mind. Nocturne coming back over to the mid lane. Yeah, that is a lot, but when you think about it, these guys are level 16 now, level 15 for the Malphite, and 11 for the Braum. But no, not just that, but the cooldown on these ultimates, right? You just use 3 ultimates to get down Cake in the top lane. But Concerned Badger with Malignant, level 16, level 3 ult. You have the level 2 ultimate on Malphite and Braum, so I don't think that it was that huge. Dragon's not up for another 230. You don't really have another objective that you're really going for, and Tyler is walking into here. Concerned Badger on a ward, so that's either flexing your... Concerned Badger either thinks he's flexing his reaction timing, or...
Oh, Tyler gets found out here, but should be able to get away.
Yeah. Or you realize that you're sitting on a ward, and I think that you did, so it's cleared out now. And yeah, this game is just kind of like I said, it's just the most coin flippy that these have felt at this point. And Small Chow is doing everything that they can to sort of get this game, at least one game for them. And then you can take that just one and then the next just one. And now we're about to get a TF and Nocturne potential in the top lane here. But it does look like Cake kind of just wants to back as now they see it. You see the pings coming all over the place. And I don't think that Fish and TF are on the same page here.
Ooh, and that's going to be Cake dropping some damage onto Concerned Badger. Badger might have to use the ultimate to get away, and that's going to be it. But is he getting ignited? And there's a couple more autos. Not going to be able to chase him down. Uses the ultimate, trying to find him. Gets under the tower. Goes Golden is going to be able to get that. And dodges out on the sprite cards. Being able to stop him as the Tyler goes over the wall. Trying to stop Mundo from backing there. Mundo trying to get some damage. But once you see Small Chow, you know you got to back off. Cake pushing forward, trying to get this tower, but doesn't realize that the rest of their team is coming up this way. And what I've been liking so far from the side of SSP as they start to transition into this more mid to late game standard style, they've been traveling a lot more as 2 to 3 people. They don't allow, look at that, forcing the flash out of Nocturne. They don't travel alone, and it's really, really difficult for him to be able to go in when they're not alone. If he can catch them off guard, cool. You catch the Zeri alone, cool. You catch the Ahri alone, cool. But when you see that there's 3 people stacked up, you might not be able to kill them fast enough to be able to make use of your ultimate with the lights off if they're not all alone. And that is what I think SSP has realized. And it's like, all right, we want to protect ourselves. Let's go ahead and just make sure that we don't allow for the Nocturne to be able to jump on anybody. So we have to travel as 3-man, as a 4-man, especially when we're setting up for these objectives. Mundo now off to the flank, manages to lay one of his cleavers onto Mundo. We're gonna see the grand entrance goes in, but you're all alone, Tyler. As the hits on 2 mans in the background, and that's a near death, but they jump in on top of him. But the Nocturne not gonna be able to get the kill. That's gonna be instead Solo Mason getting a double-sided. Solo Chow also goes down. Tyler brought down to extremely low HP. The Pickle looking for him, but now he battle dances away, and that's gonna be 3 kills dropped off for the side of Sin Solo Pickle, and that's gonna be the objective. They just get into these team fight situations, and they're just able to win them out every time. What is going on? The lead now officially on the side of Sin Solo Pickle.
Yeah, and I think that might be the last lead change that we see here. Unfortunately for the side of JRA, they just don't seem like they are on the same page. Sin Solo Pickle know exactly what they want to do. They say, hey, go get the dog. And then Mundo just kind of goes as they're about to take this Baron away from them as well, right? So he just goes, and he goes under a turret in a level, what is that, 13 Yunara, 11, 12 Yunara, okay, it's 15, but like that into a level 18 Mundo that, yes, is behind, but has their 2 core items and Swifties. You can't do anything with that. You don't have any means of escaping. And so he's able to do that while the rest of them are just able to just keep the Nocturne from killing the Zeri, keep the Jax from killing the Zeri, and that's all they are doing is they have a 4-man protect the Zeri, and on the other side, and while Ahri does Ahri things, and then, you know, the Mundo that just says, okay, I lost to a Jax. Now watch me kill your ADC over and over again, and that's kind of like where this game is now, and it's just JRA are not on the same page. They either need to all be 5 sitting, protecting Yunara and using the Rakan or other sorts of engages to get people that are isolated, or they need to just go for the picks and try to get these guys from the side. But SSP has been doing such a good job of just grouping and doing everything that they need to here.
Yeah, I really love the way that SSP has just been playing, and it's like the mental toughness of their team is being shown here as multiple times, almost every single game. Actually, the first 15 minutes has always seemed like it was going JRA's side, and like every single time, every game, JRA's been able to extend their lead. But Small Chow now gonna pop the ultimate from the Pickle, and now he's on the back foot. The Mundo now able to return back some of the early bullying from the game. And this is just so unfortunate now, because this Mundo is too much for even Small Chow to handle, after Small Chow being the absolute bright star for this game, and the team getting charmed up, and it's gonna be taken down as the tier 2 bot tower gonna drop Mundo. That's gonna be another kill for the Ahri. Concerned Badger going on a killing spree as he's looking for the next member. Zeri now on a killing spree as well, as they're able to find the other kills, trying to get down Tyler. The Pickle gonna be able to go on a killing spree for himself too, but the lights get turned off, turns everyone nearsighted, but a double kill going over to Pickle, and that's just gonna be it. I think that's the game.
That's game set match right there. And I don't even know if Cake is going to be able to kill them if they come into the fountain with him. This was just
I mean,
Ooh.
you read about it in the oh, and he still lives. Poor Pickle or poor poor Cake. That was yeah, that was
Oh,
definitely a series. SSP just came more prepared, and I think this is kind of what it was alluding to in the reading for the week. Was just that SSP is just that much better all around, and they showed it today. And you know, hats off to JRA for sticking in and trying to, after game one, at least take the early leads and try to do their best. But the communication, the team fighting, the utilage or the usage of the compositions from the side of SSP was that was impressive to watch, and it was a pleasure to cast, and it was fun to go to watch them do their thing. And even though it was a quick 2-0 and then a 3-0, it definitely shows that like this team, they communicate well, they play well, and even when put into situations where they fall behind, they still find ways to just regroup, take the fights that they want, and get everything. So congratulations, moving on to the finals for SSP. That was a lot of fun to watch.
yeah, that was honestly a very clear like showing of, oh, we are the number one team. We are going to show you guys why we are number one. And it's just crazy to watch how even with like the constant like how much they did fall behind. Like there was a 4K gold lead at one point for this game, and then all of a sudden they're ending on a near 7K gold lead, and that literally all crumbled for it was at 24 minutes is when everything started to crumble for the side of JRA. And it's nice because it was actually nice to watch JRA consistently get better for their like the beginning of the game. Each and every game is like you actually watch them get better game after game and how they were competing against SSP. But
Mm-hmm.
just as you were saying, SSP clearly showing how much more endurance that they do have when it comes to these series, because even though they were falling behind and losing these early games, they knew that as long as they got into a advantageous team fight situation, they were going to end up winning it for themselves. And they showed it here. They very clearly showed it here why they are very much the Goliath of Eternal, and it's going to be very difficult to go across them. They just managed to take out the fourth place team in a very convincing fashion. Like this would, honestly wouldn't root against Sin Solo Pickle whatsoever after a series like this. And so like I'm very curious to see, like again, as you said, they advanced to the finals. I'm very curious to see how well they do in finals. Are they going to make it a quick 3-0 for themselves in the finals as well? Because this was an absolute insane game to watch from their end, and it was some very clean League of Legends that was being played. Like ultimates were constantly on point, bandage tosses, the blitz crank hooks in game one, absolutely. Like this is some of the like best, this is some of the best League of Legends I've seen in a bit, like at least from like a team playing very well to their strengths. Like Sin Solo Pickle is like they really did what they were supposed to do, and I thought that was absolutely insane to watch a team be able to play the way they do. But yeah, that's all I can really say. This was it's very short to say what was going on in this series, because it was just for some reason, even like it went from, okay, we got a 10-minute lead and then we lost out. Okay, this time we managed to keep the lead for about 15 minutes and we lost out. And then, oh, now we're at the point where we we can keep a 25-minute lead, but then we weren't able to transition it to ending the game into more objectives, there was no conversions of a lot of the things that were going on the top side. I feel it wasn't as not as much was happening for JRA, even though they were getting these consistent leads. And it was just unfortunate to watch again as the 24-minute mark happened. It's like, okay, I feel like this might be the game for JRA. They're gonna at least take a game off in this series, and then all of a sudden everything just kind of just crumbles,
Yeah.
especially once you get a big shutdown from the Nocturne onto the Zeri. And now Zeri was behind in items, is now all of a sudden in a half an item to an item ahead of the Yunara when they initially weren't. So now you're like, you see how the game just completely flipped, and all the shutdown, now you see all the shutdown golds being lit up for the
Yeah.
side of SSP, and you're just like, oh no, this is exactly what happened in the last two games. And it just stayed consistent. And that's
Yeah.
again a consistent team like SSP, obviously showing why they probably will be hoisting the trophy at the end of this season. if that ends up being the case. So we're gonna have to wait and see if that ends up happening. But definitely a
That'll be
convincing
next
game
Monday with you, right?
Yeah,
But if you're
I just
definitely gonna
realized
be
that.
here, I might be. We'll have to see how the family goes with that. But yeah, no, and I do think they have a solid chance if they play like this. I mean, they ran 3 different complete comp styles and they won every single time. So and in strong fashion. Not to beat up on JRA, I think they put up a hell of a fight, especially in games 2 and 3. But it just wasn't enough for SSP. And with that, I don't think that we have much else. Do not forget to the scouting camp that is coming next week, Tuesday, April 14th. Make sure you sign up in the Discords for Titan Esports scouting camp. And then thank you very much, Shivam, for doing the double duty on the Observer and the broadcaster. And Malco, if you want to take us out, thank you so much for having me here again with you. On a Monday.
Yes, sir. We brought the Friday vibes over to a Monday. Thank you guys, everybody who joined us here on Titans Eternal for this absolutely crazy 3-0 series that we got to see of Sin Solo Pickle versus the Jolly Rogers Armada teams. And once again, join us next week on Monday. I will be your play-by-play caster once again for the finals, and we will be soon finding out who will be the opponent for Sin Solo Pickle. I'm very excited for that series coming up, as this team definitely shows why they're a #1 team, and I'm grateful to actually get the chance to be able to cast a series. Fel, thank you again for being on the cast with me.
Yeah.
Shavam, thank you very much for being on the producer and observer side. We couldn't have done this without you. And everybody, once again in the audience, thank you guys for all the support with Titan Esports NA and NA2. If the games are still going on, don't forget to check out that they are also doing a series over there. And it was looking like potentially a 2-0 for 3-0 for Conduit, but they might have changed that around. So go ahead and check out the other Titans Esports channel while we sign off here. And we'll be seeing you guys next Monday for the finals of Titans Eternal. Peace out.